in. They saw that there is something more for them out there. So many of you are still here right now, and we're still going to be training. Today's going to be an epic day. Jeremy, I've called him before. It's going to go a little over 2 hours, but we want to congratulate the people that got outside their comfort zone and they're willing to achieve more for them and their families. Some of you are still here, and some of you still want to get access to more training. I want to reiterate, we ran a poll 48 hours ago, and the poll was, how much commissions are you losing every single year because you haven't acquired the right skills? You're not asking the right questions. What else are you not doing? You're not overcoming your prospects' objections, but more importantly, getting them to overcome their own objections. And you're triggering sales resistance, which is causing their guard to be up here rather than down here. So I want you to pay attention, because for the next two hours, we're going to be going through how you can lower that, how you can lower the resistance that you're currently getting. So who here wants more of the Jeremy juice though? So we can keep it, we can bottle it up, maybe put it in the fridge and save it for next time. But who here wants some of it? Dwayne wants it, Michelle, Russell, Brandon, Robin, Stephen, Greg, Brenda, Steve, Boong, Nats, some of you. Now, the poll results was what? 41%, 41.8% actually, so we're very accurate here when we run our surveys, said you're losing over $100,000 a year. Shish kebab. That could be trouble for some of you. So if you want to change that, make sure you're showing up, make sure you're doing the homework. Really important. There's hundreds of you asking, where are the replays? Where are the replays? The replays are emailed to you in the email you registered for the challenge. Also, day 1, day 2 replay, they're accessible via the Facebook group, salesrevolution.pro. If you're currently watching on Facebook, really important, the Facebook stream, you guys on Facebook are watching me right now, is ending in 10 minutes. So if you're listening to me or watching me on Facebook, get over to the Zoom room. The team will post the Zoom link in the chat below. Otherwise, unfortunately for you, you're not going to hear our clients doing live calls using Nepq. So get on over here. Also, if you're watching us on a random website with a funny banner around us, that's not us. So get out of there and come over to this group. So in a minute, what I'm going to do is welcome Jeremy Miner, but first we're going to go over the prizes. So let me remind you, the day 3 prize for yesterday, for the most committed, the most congruent, the ones that are showing up, they're getting uncomfortable, they're doing the homework, they're knowing that they have to break free from the comfort zone. The homework was go live and tell us why you want to acquire a higher level of sales ability. Who here did the homework, by the way? Let us know in the chat. Who here
Anthony,
did the homework?
I heard someone say congruent.
Did I just hear the co-host himself, Matt? You over there, Matt?
Somebody say congruent. What's happening, guys?
Come on, Matt. What's going on over there in the Sydney office? Let's be real. It's not as gold as the Gold Coast office. But what's going on, Matt?
Oh, you know, I'm just trying to stay out of trouble. Are you over there getting in trouble, or what are you doing?
I'm over here getting a bit of a tan while you're probably freezing over there in Sydney. Let's be real right now.
I'm gonna come out because I heard someone say congruent, and I'm just all about that life. So
yeah, Matt, did you go through some of the videos yesterday in the group? There were hundreds coming through.
People are dropping some knowledge. People are letting us in, which I like. Yeah. Right. One of the things
should we announce the winner?
What do you guys think? Do you guys think we should? We don't have to.
They might be opposed to knowing if they won the prize for yesterday. Let us know.
Anthony,
do you guys want the prize?
I would love to announce it. I just really need to go away and check with my spouse if I should announce the partner.
Ooh, think about it, objection. Well, I'm going to save the objection handle for later when we do the role play. So what are we giving away for day 3, guys? The Nepq Top 50 Objection Obliteration Book. This is a step-by-step, word-for-word, how to handle any objection. I remember a little under 3 years ago, I printed this out, had it on my desk. It was a game changer. When I got the objection, just whip open the book and know how to handle it. All right. What else are we giving you guys? We're going to be giving you Jeremy in your pocket, telling you how to handle all the objections and how do you listen to it? Well, obviously we have to give you some AirPods so you can hear the crispness of Jay Miner's voice. So the winner for yesterday, day 3 homework is, bit of a drum roll, Matt, Ali Corraro. Ali Corraro, congratulations. You did your homework. And it was funny because Ali didn't have a voice. You heard her in her video. She lost her voice and she said, hey, I lost my voice, but I'm still committed in doing it. So well
Love
done.
it.
You got outside your comfort zone. The team will be reaching out. Really,
Absolutely.
really important. Day 4 prize is announced at the end of today. So we're going to be announcing the grand prize for the number 1, the most committed, and I guess, dare I say, since Matt is here, the most congruent. What are you going to be getting? Because it is quite juicy. The
Right.
black book of questions, that's juicy enough, but we're going to give you also the advanced calling your lead script, juice times 2.
Do many sales reps call leads? I don't know. Do you guys have
I don't know.
leads? Is that?
I don't. Matt, they might be like the reps that say, "Oh, we don't have any leads. The leads are bad."
Well, those guys, that could be trouble for them, right?
That could be. We're going to give you an iPad, a free upgrade from 2.0 to advanced 3.0. So if you want to be in the winning for that, hashtag sales pro, whilst we get ready to bring out Mr. Miner himself. And remember, this is all going away and shutting down tonight, 12:01 a.m. Goodbye, which is 7 a.m. for my fellow Aussies. This is goodbye. So turn off your distractions, be committed, stay here for the next 2 hours. Guys, just learn something. Don't come to something like this and just sit in the background watching Netflix. Turn off everything, learn something, go into your next sales calls equipped with something you can use to make more sales. It's quite simple as that. So who wants us to bring out Mr. Miner himself?
I'm here.
Oh,
I can't see
Jeremy.
my. Could be trouble.
Mr. Miner.
Could be trouble.
I'm
Matt,
out.
Can I get on there? Somebody bring me out. Oh, hey, what's Anthony? Thanks for the warm introduction over there in Miami Beach of Australia, pretty much. Matt, what's going on in Sydney?
oh, well, you know, just over here shopping for new hats. What are you doing?
Shopping for new hats. You know, trying to stay out of trouble. You get in trouble over there?
Trying not. I'm dodging the sales manager. Yeah, that's one I used to use when I was selling salespeople. What are you doing over there? Oh, I'm just over here trying to stay out of the sales manager's eye line. What are you doing?
No. I love
Right.
that. All right,
Yeah.
let's do this. Let's go over what we went over day 1, day 2, day 3. We're going to bring out the people who we're going to use. We've got some interesting things. Anthony probably didn't get the memo that our attorney said that, hey, if when you call leads, when they answer, you're gonna be like, hey, are you willing to be recorded in front of like 3,000 or 4,000 people? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, let's go. All right. So day 1, we're talking about what we're going to do. 3 steps to get your prospects to actually want to change with you. We talk about problem finding, asking the right questions at the right time, especially with the right tone. As you know, Matt, tonality is the key to getting the prospect to let their guard down or they stay surface level. We gave you some different parts of that. We're going to go through a lot. You're going to hear that from a couple of our clients we picked today.
Yeah, that's key. That's a key one.
You might want to stay on for that one. Eliminating sales resistance. We're going to talk about that. Day 2, we went over several objections, how to get them to overcome them themselves, because it's a lot easier when you learn how to get the prospect to do all the work. Because who has the problem? The prospect. Who has a solution to solve it? You do. So why are you qualifying to them? We start to teach you how to get them to qualify to you. So just a game changer there. We went over, it's too expensive. We don't have the money. I think we did think it over, which is not even an objection, as you know. Need to check my finances.
Yeah, right. Put a 1 in the chat if you know how much money you have. Right?
Yeah.
I better see a couple 1,000 ones. Right?
Yeah.
Because, if that could be trouble for you if you don't even know how much money, I check my finances.
Check your
How do you
finances.
go sleep on it? Well, it's not a mattress, brother. Right?
Check your finances. Oh, be trouble for you. Negative reviews about your company online. Can you send me references? Send me a proposal. I'll get back to you if I'm interested. I need to pray about it, which is not a real objection. Do we really believe that at the end of the day, when we leave the house, the office, Zoom, or the phone, that they sit down and pray with all their heart to God if they should get what they said they wanted and get their problem solved? Doubtful. It's just a smokescreen. They're just not telling you what the real concern is. Now, day 3. Who was on here for day 3 yesterday? Type in day 3 if you showed up yesterday. And we went over the NEPQ sales structure. We went over maybe certain words and how you're using your tone and questions you've been taught to ask that you thought were good, but are actually triggering your prospects to do what? Stay surface level with you and just tell you they want to think about it at the end, right? How do you get them to open up? And then day 4, we're going to hear from one of our clients. We actually brought a couple of clients out. We brought one client from B2C, business to consumer, and we brought one client from B2B, business to business. We train You know, every industry, 161 industries now, B2B, B2C, even B2G, business to government. If you're in business to government, we have clients in that space. I guess sales
Procurement.
government. Can you believe that, right? Now, this was hard for us to do. We train 161 industries. Matt, according to Blake, we have just a bit under like 59,000 clients. Like clients.
Balake?
Yeah.
Who's Blake? Balake?
The Blake Wyatt, you know, or
Balake.
our
Yep,
VP.
okay. Yep.
So we got to just a bit under 59,000 clients. That includes individual salespeople selling anything. That includes companies as well. So how do you pick? Now, are you guys going to get angry at me if I say something to you? You guys going to be okay? All right. So our attorneys, we're like, hey, we're gonna call leads. Or what do you think? Should we do Zoom, like get them on Zoom and we'll just like we'll plug everybody in the Zoom, or should we just get them on the phone? They're like, you kind of have to like ask the prospect if they're okay with that. It has to be recorded because you could get sued. Anybody ever done that? Like recorded a call and your boss was like, you're gonna get sued because you didn't give him permission. You didn't tell him you were recording that.
You got to have the beeps.
You got to have
1200 hertz beeps every 16 seconds.
I know.
You gotta ask if it's
Can you imagine if we jumped on there, like, hey, are you okay if we listen into this recording? We're training like 2,000 or 3,000 salespeople. Is that going to be okay? Oh, sure. Yeah, no problem.
And for those of you who are like, it's a consent state thing. It's definitely not. It's actually a totally different set of rules. It's telesales and telemarketing rules. But anyway,
yeah, you got to be careful,
not
guys.
that I would know. I've only run sales teams of many people. But anyway,
You got to follow the law, guys. We don't want to get you in trouble or a client. So here's what we're going to do. We came up with a solution. I think you guys will like it. All right. Type in the chat what you feel you need the most help in. Type in the chat. What are the top 2 or 3 things you want to learn in the next 2 hours? I'm going to go 2 hours. Are you guys okay if I go 2 hours for you on a Friday night? I could be chilling. I could be going to dinner, could be hanging out. I said I'm going to go 2 hours and 15 minutes for you because I believe this group, Matt, what do you think, is probably the best interactive.
very active. I will say that about them.
And they have good questions. They're not like crazy questions. They're actually really thoughtful questions. So type in what you want. Is it tonality? Like I don't know how to get my prospects to let their guard down. Type in tonality if that's you. What about the questions? Do you want to learn what questions to ask that cause the prospect to actually internalize what you're asking, where they don't give you a surface level answer? Did you know that's a skill you learn how to do? You don't just ask a question. What about this? Do you want to learn how to prevent objections? Matt, should prevent objections.
One.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys can keep getting them if you want. Like it's up to you.
Yeah. Because top 1% salespeople, we're more interested in preventing the objection.
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else is like, I got to react to the objection.
Some people out there just trying to figure out objection handling. I mean, could you imagine?
Can you imagine just like trying to say, oh, I'm going to triple my sales by just objection handling?
I know. I'm like, putting yourself in a box like that. That's crazy. There's so much more out there.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you want to prevent the objection from happening? Like, I don't know. What about reframing? Who wants to learn reframing techniques?
Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh, I know that. That's why I threw that in there. All right. So here's the 2 industries we picked. Drum roll, please. We
don't have one. I'll just go this.
No. Okay. So
Next time I'm going to have one.
We picked one client randomly who was on here yesterday. We're like, why don't we just have that guy? He was pretty cool. Caden Sanchez, let's have him come up here. He is in the, he does like 3 different things. Let's bring up Caden if we could spotlight him. I can't see him.
Okay. Don't worry, I got you. Well, there he is.
He does life insurance. Type in life insurance if you sell life insurance. He also does IULs, Index Universal Life. He also does final expense insurance. Okay. This dude is, he makes, I'm going to go out on a limb to say he probably makes a lot more money than you guys. You might want to learn from him. Okay. And we're going to bring out somebody in the B2B world, B2B, business to business. Type in business to business if you sell business to business.
You want to bring him out now?
Let's bring out old Jimmy Newcomb.
Mr. Newcomb.
Mr. Newcomb, look at that guy driving around the 7 Series now, the rich guy. Okay, and Jimmy, he's in the SaaS industry. Type in SaaS if you sell SaaS. That's a huge industry we train with insurance as well. Guys, how you doing over there?
Doing well, Coach. Excited to be here.
Okay. You good? Are you gonna give them the goods?
We'll see.
We'll see how good the audience is.
We'll see what happens. All right. Now, and we're also we got to bring out a prospect. So we wanted a prospect that was kind of in some of the like a same industry. So we brought out, he's actually a client, Jacob, is it Griok? I always pronounce his name wrong, Caden. Jacob Griok, is he here? Do we have him? We got Jacob. There's Jacob, you look like you're.
Can we unshare, Leah? Can we unshare the thing? Otherwise, there's a lot of things on the screen.
Yeah, let's take the slide off. Thank you. Okay, we got Michelle in today for the fill-in. She's doing well. Okay, Jacob, how are you, man?
Oh, being boring, that's all.
You're gonna be hey, I like the 7th level swag you got on today. That looks good, man.
It looks like I'm the only one that at Caden and Jim are
All
slacking.
right. Yeah, so we give our clients swag. Okay, and you sell Index Universal Life Insurance, right?
Yes.
Rumor has it you make a lot of dough. Congratulations now. Well done for you. And how
So
old?
it's only because of you. That's all.
You know, Matt has a little bit.
Chop liver. What's going on over here? You guys just leave me out. I'm gonna leave. I don't need to.
Matt's he's getting upset.
Saturday morning over here. I'm sitting here
Saturday
getting
morning.
sandbagged. What's going
Okay,
on?
so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do role plays, and we're gonna be real, and we're gonna have you guys pick the objections. We're gonna make these role plays hard because why make them easy? That would be boring. Okay, that would be boring for sure. So what I want you to do is I want you to pay attention to, Caden, to Jim, whatever. I want you to pay attention to their tonality. Okay. Pay attention to the verbal pausing, verbal pacing, verbal cues. Remember, we talked about that the last 3 days. Type in if you remember that, like, hey, verbal cues, verbal pacing, verbal pausing, how that internalize it. I want you to pay attention to their body language because you're going to be able to see them on video. Okay. Like we always say, your facial expressions are the remote control to your tone. Pay attention to their facial expressions, how they change. Okay. We teach all this in our virtual training portals for clients. All right. And I want you to pay attention to that objections they get and how they handle them and get the prospect to overcome them. We're not going to make this easy. Okay. So Jimmy, I'm going to have you turn your video off first. I'm going to start with Caden. Okay. And Jimmy, I'm going to ask you questions as well. Now, are you guys, Jimmy, Caden, here and there, can we show kind of some of your sales structures we've written out with you so they can get an idea? We won't show the whole thing because you guys have paid for
I just
those.
want to say something like my disclaimer. All right. So for those of you who are keyboard warriors, okay. First of all, I was a real warrior. So let's just get that very straight. Right. Yeah. We got thousands of people on here and these guys are out here doing their thing. Don't be a D-bag in the comments or I'll like bring you up and I'll make you explain yourself on video. All right. Like, let's not do this. Let's be a supportive, positive, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. I'll just mute you and kick you out. It's easy. There's already people saying stuff and I just make it so that no one can see.
Well, I would love to know if the people, I'm sure there's a few in there, actually make more than our clients do.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've never heard a successful person whinge and moan.
Interesting.
Like other people. So if you whinge and moan and you say you're better than these people, I immediately know that you're.
Yeah. Hey, you're making more than $1 million a year in commissions, we'll pull you out. But rumor has it probably don't. Some of these guys do. So you might want to learn from them now. Okay.
All right. Let's be respectful. Let's be cool.
Yeah.
All right. I don't go to your house and tell you how to do things. All right. So there you go. Anyway, I will sit here and then be abusive in the comments. You guys go.
I love it. All right. So here's what we do. Michelle, will you pull up the sales structure real quick here? That slide with the sales structure on it. Perfect. Okay. So just as a reminder, once you guys, we showed you this every single day, you're going to watch this. Now I'm going to ask you guys in the comments. So after we get through each stage, what we're going to do is I'm going to stop it. And then do you want me to explain what just happened? Like I will break it down exactly what Caden did or exactly what Jimmy did. Okay. So we're going to start with the connection questions in the connection stage. Then we'll go situation, problem awareness, solution awareness, all the way down. We should have time to get most of this done. I will go about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So if you want to learn how to sell more, what are you going to do? Stay here and learn to sell more. If you don't, well, it doesn't really impact Caden. He makes a lot of money. He doesn't care. He still likes
I'll be okay. I like you all, but I don't care if you stay here.
You'll be okay. All right. All right. Perfect. All right. Go ahead and take that down real quick. Michelle, thank you. Okay, perfect. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to let you guys give the objections. So why don't you guys type in the top 3 objections You want Jacob, when Jacob gets, let's say it's a phone call, because in life insurance, you're mainly calling age leads or leads that are maybe a couple of days old, right, Caden?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you get on Zoom if you book a second appointment, but rare. So I want you guys to throw in the top 3 objections you want them to do. Now, Caden, we're going to make you leave the room, and you got to give scouts on. Now, I know, see, I went to college in Utah. There's a lot of scouts up there and Boy Scouts. Were you a Boy Scout?
Yeah, you know it.
Yes.
It's a rite of passage.
Scouts honor. You got to leave the room. Okay. I'll text you. Okay. And I will text him that I'm not giving you the objections. We will be transparent. Okay. Then they're going to give
Pressure's
Jacob
on.
Okay. So go out. I'll text you when you can come back in. Okay. Scouts honor. All right, bro. Okay. So who in here also, here's what I wanted to do as well, because I want to get some very industry specific objections too. So who in here can give us like 3 industry specific objections for, like, we're going to do life insurance, right, Jacob?
Yeah.
Like your prospect. Okay. Jacob, give me an idea. Like, what do you think would be a good objection right at the start?
Definitely busy and not interested.
Okay.
Everyone's been blowing that up.
Okay. Because a lot of you get the call outbound leads or age leads. You go, hey, I'm just really busy, or I'm not interested. So we'll do that one. What's another one you guys want? Jacob, what's another good one?
I mean, we could definitely say I already have coverage.
Okay. Is that one that you guys, well, I know that's when you get life insurance is the second largest.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely get that one.
What's a
busy, not interested in.
Can you, like, why don't you just give me the price? See that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, like I sort of get it. Like, I'm really busy. Can you just give me the price? Right.
And then maybe at the end, like, throw out like, hey, I don't have the money or something. Would everybody be good? Because that's going to be generic enough that they can use that for other industries. All right. And we'll bring up Jim as well. Because Jim, I'm going to ask you some differences. Like, okay, with situation questions, what's the differences there in B2B compared to B2C? And I'm going to have you respond to that. Okay. All right. So Jim, I'll bring you back in a minute. Okay. Let me text Caden. Okay. Scout's honor. I told you. I've got his number.
All right, guys, we have decided on the objections, although I appreciate reading more and more.
Okay, everybody, see, come back. I did not give him the objections. I would never do that. I don't need to do that because rumor has it he was trained by us, so he must be good. All right. Okay, is everybody ready to do this? Everybody write down, take notes, write down, pay attention to their tonality, facial expressions. After each stage, I will break it down. And if you're really cool like you guys have been, I will actually show you parts of their sales structure so you can actually see it. Okay. All right. So you're going to be on the phone. You ready, Jacob?
Yeah, absolutely.
We're on the phone, regular life insurance lead, few days old, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all in. Are you ready, Caden? That's all I gotta say.
Ready as I'll ever be. Let's just get it. Let's go.
I'm going to turn this off. I'll be right back.
All right. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hey, Jacob.
Yeah, who is this?
Hey, Jacob, this is just Caden. You might have already gotten a few calls about this. I'm not really sure why our system didn't get updated. It looks like a few days ago you had put in some info about possibly looking at like life insurance to pay for all your expenses.
I'm busy. I'm busy.
Whoa, slow down. I was just calling to try and get things updated over here. Did you end up finding something, or like?
Yeah, man, I got a ton of
happening?
calls. I'm just not interested.
Oh, no worries. I was just trying to update the system here. Did you end up finding something, or like what ended up happening so I can update it so people stop calling you?
No, I haven't found anything. Got 1,000 calls that I just really,
you're telling me you weren't wanting 1,000,000 phone calls?
I wasn't, man. I really wasn't.
I know, it's pretty frustrating. Let me get that updated so people stop calling you. Were you originally looking for anything specific, or just wanting to look over all the options?
I wanted cremation coverage, but man, I got another
that's pretty easy. Right now. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's pretty easy. Sounds like nothing crazy. What I'll do is I'll just get some basic things here to kind of narrow it down, because all the quotes vary quite a bit. And then I'll get you over the basic info, and you can tell me if anything might work. Yeah, a few things that it'll vary quite a bit because there's like a lot of different companies you can go with. But just so I can start to narrow it down, one of the big questions all the carriers will ask is like, are you over there chain smoking on me? You smoking 5 packs a day, or what does that look like?
No, I don't do that. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't do any of that.
Oh, geez. Well, you sound boring. That's what they like to hear. And now I've got your birthday here is 1/1 of 1960. Is that right?
That is
Okay. And you know how they are. They're going to make me ask your height and weight. Roughly how tall are you?
5'8", 182 on the dot.
You're in pretty good shape. It's almost un-American these days.
That it is.
Now, what they'll do for the qualification purposes is they're all going to pull your medical record and make their decision that way. Walk me through your medical history. What all would come up in maybe like the last 3 to 5 years?
Definitely gabapentin and like some diabetes.
Gabapentin for like, is that for your diabetes? Like, is
Yeah,
there like
that,
nerve pain and stuff?
no, just diabetes and just like lisinopril.
Uh-huh. The lisinoprils for high blood pressure, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Okay. How long ago were you diagnosed with diabetes?
When I was 52.
Okay. Help me with the math here. So that was what, roughly 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay. And have you ever been hospitalized for it where like they had to keep you overnight, or
No,
is it pretty well controlled with the
yeah, my glucose got out of control one time and they put me on this shit.
Oh geez, that's never fun. What happened?
Oh man, just ate too much sugar.
What are you doing over there? You packing down the Reese's on us, or what's going on?
Twinkies and stuff like that.
I don't blame you. How long ago was that you had to go to the hospital for that?
Like probably like 10 years ago. That now I gotta diet and exercise so I live longer is what the doctor told me.
Well, that's good that you're going to live longer, ideally, right? That's what we all hope for, at least
That's
most
what,
of the time.
right. That's what they
Now,
said.
other than the stuff for the diabetes, the gabapentin and the lisinopril, what else have you been prescribed? Like anything that you were maybe prescribed, no longer taking, or like you never filled, or anything like that?
No, just that one incident when I turned 52. Everything else is good. Diet, exercise, eats herbs. I'm good. I'm pretty clean.
Yeah,
Got
you
like
sound like you're in pretty good shape over there. They
yeah.
might have to kick you out of the country here soon. So I was curious, did something like happen happen recently, or like what had you looking for life insurance?
Uh, because I don't have anything. I don't have anything in savings and just probably
Sure.
need to protect my wife.
Yeah, that's why most people come to us. And with you not having anything now, like walk me through what all would be there that would be left to her to cover everything and cover the cremation, when you
Just
do pass
mattress,
away.
just mattress money.
Mattress money.
Just stash it away. Can't trust these banks anymore. You don't know.
Yeah. You never know what's going to happen nowadays. I mean, but you do have something there. That's good. So you at least have something for her to kind of fall back on. I'm curious with the mattress money,
Hmm.
what makes you feel like that wouldn't be enough?
Because it's like $2,000. Cremation's
Uh-huh.
like 10 grand.
So you've been looking into it.
It's a big gap. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how much the cost has gone up. It's kind of like eggs, right? Like, I don't know about you, but what was the cost of eggs like 2 years ago?
Like $1 or something. Crazy.
Now
Like
it's like,
6. Yeah.
yeah, it's the same thing over there.
Stop the role play. Okay. In the chats, in the conversation, what part of NEPQ do you believe Caden is in right now? Michelle, can you share that screen on the sales structure again? I want you guys to guess which part of the sales structure is he actually in right now? Some of you are getting it right. Some of you are getting it right. He's in problem awareness questions. All right. Now, for our one keyboard warrior, we love you.
I just have to say, I just found out that I can change people's names in Zoom.
I like. What did you change his name to? We got to be. How about Sally? Hey, Brad, we love you. We're just trying to help you to get better. If you believe you're better at sales than Caden, who makes 70,000 plus commissions a month, then by all means chime in. But
anyone who complains, I'm putting wah at the end of
if you're
the
not making that, you might
Love
want to
you.
learn something. It's good. All right. So we're in problem awareness questions. All right. Now what I'm going to do, let's go. Okay. Problem awareness. All right. See, he went into connection, situation questions with his industry is more of the health history, right? And what they have in place. And then he started to get into problem awareness questions. Now, what did you pay? What were the top 3 things you noticed? Actually, just give the top one. Top one thing you noticed he did that you're like, oh, I've never thought about that? Was it his tone? What is his body language? Was it some of the questions he asked? Okay, Michelle, go ahead and unshare that real quick. Okay. Now, Caden, I have to add, can I share the screen here, show this part of the script for you?
I guess.
Oh gosh, you know. Oh, you guys are in a treat. He's letting you see his sales structure that we've written out with them. All right. Now, connection questions. Tell me why in the beginning there, you're calling age leads. So age leads in your industry could be 6 months old. And what do most salespeople in your industry that call age leads say about age leads?
Yeah, most people hate them.
Yeah. Why?
Numbers game.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been trained. They don't know how to open up the conversation. And so they're just shoot mud against the wall and hope some of it sticks.
Yeah.
They're
So
on opium.
the hopium drug. Now, for that industry, you're like, oh, hey, yeah, it's just Caden. You might not remember this. Looks like a little while ago, for whatever reason, it didn't look like things got updated in the system. You put in some info about possibly looking at like different like options, like life insurance to pay for expenses. Did you end up finding something, or what actually happened? Now, why would you use a confused tone when you're calling an age lead who doesn't know you from Adam? It's basically a cold call. Why would you do that?
Yeah, because it's psychological for the prospect. When they hear that tone, that's the first thing they hear versus the words. When they hear that confusion, they want to come and like rescue you. They want to unconfuse you.
Yeah. Because before you learned Nepq, what, 3 years ago, you've been a client for a while. How fast would you start talking when you called?
Yeah, I was trying to talk fast and just get into it. And usually I did not get into it and they would hang up.
Type in guilty if you've been taught to call leads and you've been taught to talk as fast as you can, just to get as much information out you can, because you hope and pray something you say is going to cause them to say, oh, I'm really looking for that. A lot of you have, right? See, your prospect has no time to internalize that. They don't hear your words. They hear your tone, and you sound like what? A salesperson. So you're actually causing the very sales resistance that you think it's the prospect's fault. Now, how many people hang up on you now compared to 3 years ago?
It's very, very rare. Very rare.
Who wants to call age lead 6 months old and have like 1 out of maybe 30 you talk to actually hang up instead of like 29 out of 30? You want to learn that? Do you want us to train you how to do that for the next 12 months? Type in 12 months if you want to learn that skill. Now, why were you using a playful tone? Why'd you like, whoa, 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 whoa? They just sent me over here to update the system so they don't call you. Like, have you been getting a million phone calls? Why did you use a playful tone? What does that do there?
Diffuses. Resistance was really high. At first, I don't even know what he said, but first thing was like, whoa, 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 to kind of interrupt the pattern and like gain control of the conversation. Yeah. And then from there, it's like, I'm just the messenger, you know.
Yeah, I'm just a little guy, like it's okay. Now, if he had not used a playful tone, if it was like, whoa, 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 I'm just the person here to update the system. I can get it updated for you. And you have like a tone that sounds like this, like a talking fast robot. What would people do?
Hang up.
Hang up. Do you see how your tone is how the prospect interprets the intention behind every word you say and every question you ask? Type in tonality. If you would like us, I can, who trained you that, Caden?
I wonder who.
I wonder who. Type in tonality if you want us to train you advanced tonality over the next 12 months. Okay. Now, a couple other things you did. Did you see how he got into this? Now, why were you doing a playful tone? Like, now they're going to ask you these same boring questions. Why do that for your space? What are they used to?
Yeah, they're used to people kind of just going into it, yes, no questions, and just rifling off questions. So
now they're going to
get into that two-way dialogue.
Now they're going to ask, are you a smoker? Okay, how is your health? How is it? You sound like an interrogator, right?
Yep.
So
exactly.
Did everybody see how he started to get the prospect's guard down simply using his tone? He wasn't joking around. He's like, well, that's almost un-American these days. You might not even need insurance. Hell, you're probably going to live. Are you going to live to like 150? Oh, no. See, Jacobs is like 2 minutes later. He's right there with Caden. Okay. If he didn't know how to use his tone, there's no way this prospect is on the phone at this point. Would everybody agree with that? See, what we're going to train you, if you want us to train you for the next 12 months, you might have a cool opportunity. We'll see what happens at the end here. You might have an opportunity like these clients to be trained for the next 12 months. And see, you might be used to losing sales like this from the way you've been trained, but our clients, they are making these sales. Do you see the difference in the levels of the ball game of sales that you can get to? Okay, now you did a couple other things. You leaned in and you asked a problem awareness question. Now he said, "Oh, I've got some money. How are you going to pay for the funeral?" You're like, "Oh, I got some money in the mattress." Now most salespeople in the industry would be like, "Okay," and go to the next question, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Why did you clarify?
Yeah, because the mattress money, what a lot of salespeople do is they just are like, "Oh yeah, I can see why you wouldn't want to use that," but I want him to tell me why that's not enough.
And you
So
don't
I
even
asked
know
him.
how much he has.
No, now
Just
I know.
mattress money. Oh, how much do you have? Like
Yeah.
that, 2,000. And then what did you say? So, I mean, you've got the 2,000. I mean, what's caused you to feel like that's not going to be enough?
Yep.
Everybody see what he did there. Why did you do that?
Yeah, because then he starts to tell me why it's not enough. And
Yeah.
I didn't even have to ask him how much he had. I went straight to that question because then he told me, he said, "Well, it's not enough. I only have 2,000. Like that's cremations this much." He said 8,000.
Yeah.
And so
Is
now
every-
he's telling me.
Which is more persuasive in the chat? Is it more persuasive for you to tell the prospect they don't have enough if you sold insurance to cover, or if you got the prospect to tell you and themselves they don't have enough? Oh, self-persuasion. Who wants to learn that over the next 12 months? Okay, let's move. Actually, Jim, I'm going to come over to you guys. Caden and Jacob, let's have you get off stay on. I'm going to bring you right back up. Just put your things on real quick, or tell Jacob to stay on. He got off. All right, so it's a little bit different with B2B, okay?
Sure is.
Now, when you get into problem awareness, okay, let's look at your problem awareness here. I've got yours
Sure.
right, okay? Why would we tell everybody what you sell first and foremost?
So I sell a software as a service product used mainly by like professional associations for their awards program. So it helps them to streamline and automate submission and review workflows.
Yeah. Now, when you're pretty much getting on virtual, so these are booked appointments, you're not necessarily going to have a Jacob that's like, "Oh, I'm not interested." Like, what the hell? Like, it's, it's a company they booked. However, what are the things that you've had to learn to like get them to open up?
Yeah, so it's been a huge change for me. I'd say there's three really, really big things that I had to learn. The first was right from the very beginning of the interaction, I actually changed up some of the language that I was using to establish my status. So we have our calls booked for us by SDRs, but I just started referring to them as my assistants, right?
Yes.
So
raises your status.
Right. Oh yeah, hey, it looked like you booked with my assistant about looking for some outside help with X, right? So immediately I want to raise my status. And then the second thing is incorporating that neutral languaging so that, first of all, now they see my status is higher. But when I say you were looking at possible options for outside help and I insert those neutral languaging, right? Rather than a pushy and aggressive salesperson, I sound like a detached expert. And so they're more likely to open up to me.
Exactly. You're not going to get on there like, "Hey, how you guys doing today?"
I'm so excited to be here.
You used to do that. I know, like, you've been here, a year and a half, right?
Yeah, since December of 2022.
Hey, you're welcome. We only like almost quadrupled your sales, but there we go. Making a lot. We driving a 7 Series BMW. Well done. Okay, so it looks like you booked with my assistant Tiffany about possibly looking for help with like your awards program, right? See how that first question right there gets him into results-based thinking. Everybody see that for your industry. Now, if Caden was calling a brand new lead, it would be far different than an aged lead because it's more results-based thinking rather than the customer service approach, okay? Now let's go down here. Let's skip some of you got your situation questions here to help them find out their real situation. Let's look at this problem awareness question. When we taught you this, what started to happen?
Well, and especially, and I know I saw some folks in the chat mentioning the verbal pausing and the verbal pacing.
Yeah.
Learning this scripting, but combined with the tonality and the verbal pacing was a really dramatic change because all of a sudden I could tell the prospects were really starting to like think about the question. I wasn't getting treated by just another salesperson. So when I'd say something like, well, so Jeremy, you've been having to do this like manually for the last like 3 years. Did you like having to do it that way? I could see the gears are starting to turn and they're really emotionally engaging.
Yeah,
And
that
now,
verbal pause caused them to internalize the question. Now, if he had asked that fast, what would have happened to everybody in the chats? Oh, it's not bad. So, I mean, was there something about doing it manually that caused you to feel like it wasn't 100% of what you wanted? Now, that's a different question. You would ask it differently. But you see, like 100%. Remember, I showed you guys that yesterday, right? Now, say that one. Was there something about X? What would be X? Put that in there.
yeah, was there something about the current process that you're using that made you feel like it wasn't, 100% of what you needed?
What would they just say to that?
Wow, and then they're going to start listing off pain
Yeah.
points, right? All the problems that they have. And you may even if you do a really good job disarming them and being neutral and having high status and getting results focused, you'll still have prospects that kind of wiggle around. But one of the things we really worked on, I just dove straight into the inner circle, which is like the highest tier program.
Yeah.
And one of the things we really work on is still then being flexible with the script where I know how to kind of duck and dive and pivot to get them to really open up and reveal the real problems that brought them there.
Type in internalize. I'm going to make you spell. I hope spelling bee champs up there. Type in internalize if you want to learn from us over the next 12 months how to get your prospects to internalize and think much deeper about the questions you ask. Okay, few of you. Okay, Jim, I'll come back over to you. Let's put you off camera. I'll come back over to you. All right, Caden, let's get back into this. Okay, so you're in problem awareness questions now. Let's go ahead and stop the share real quick. Okay, let's pick up the role play. Everybody ready? I'm going to turn off. Everybody ready? Watch Caden's tone. Now we're still in problem awareness, and now he's going to start to clarify and probe. This could be interesting. Let's see what we do.
Okay, I'm going to re-ask you that question.
Sure.
So you have the mattress money there. What makes you feel like that wouldn't be enough?
Oh, just cremations nowadays are like 10 grand. I only have 2,000. I
Oh,
need.
geez. Yeah, that's quite a big difference. How would she come up with the rest of it?
I don't know.
She just have to get like a loan and pay all that interest, or like what would she end up having to do?
I have no idea.
No worries. Yeah, we see that a lot. She's lucky to have a partner like you that's just selfless enough to be thinking about this and take this burden off of her. We just talked to a lot of people, and everybody loves their spouse, but some people, they just they don't mind like kind of kicking the can down the road, and and that they end up putting that stress and responsibility on the family they leave behind. You know what I mean?
No, I do.
Can I ask you, like how come this is so important to you?
I just want to be a responsible husband for my wife is all.
A responsible husband?
Oh yeah, like I've seen tons of people. I mean, it hasn't happened to me, but I just know there's
Yeah.
tons of people who don't have coverage, and
You've
what I
seen
mean?
that before? Or like what?
I just heard it, and I see like the
Hmm.
turmoil that it leaves because everyone has to go and pay for everything, and I want Mary to be taken care of.
Yeah. How long ago like was it that you saw that happen to? It sounds like it was somebody in the family.
Oh, it was like 5 years ago. Something
Oh man.
happened, and everyone was like pitching in, and I was just like on the
Oh
side.
geez. What kind of like effect did that have on the family?
Oh, it was turmoil, terrible.
Mm.
Everyone had to chip in. Everyone was like, "That's mine. That's mine. That's
Oh
mine."
geez. So everybody's like starting to fight, and
Oh yeah, when money comes involved.
yeah. I guess just so I could see the rationale, but like besides wanting to have the protection there for Mary, like what's the main reason you might be looking for life insurance rather than just like kind of continuing to stash more cash in the mattress and just hoping that you can save up enough?
That kind of sounds silly. I'm 62. I only have 2,000 to my name. I don't
Well,
think
I
I
don't
can.
know. It's what you're doing now.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like that's the best idea anymore.
So before today, have you been out there looking for like a policy? I mean, you said you were getting some calls. Like, what have you been doing to make sure that the Mary would be protected and wouldn't have to come up with all that money?
I talked to one agent, it was going good, and then
Uh-huh.
I got
What happened there?
thousands of calls. Everyone kept calling. I ended up just hanging up on them.
You just hung up on him?
Dude, if you see my phone, I get hundreds of calls a day. It's
Sure.
ridiculous.
So did you end up even going over anything with them or you just
No.
hung up?
I just gave up, man. I couldn't do it. I'm
How
lucky.
how
I'm
come
lucky I'm this far.
sure, what held you back though from like because you saw that happen with the family like 5 years ago, and I know you put in the info a couple days ago and you've been getting a lot of calls, but what's held you back like through the past 5 years from getting coverage?
I don't know. I just kind of push it off and
How come like it's so important to you now though?
like I just really feel like it's time. Time's ticking. I'm not getting any older.
The clock's not moving in reverse over there?
No, it's not, Caden.
Now, how familiar are you with
Okay,
like the
let's stop.
different
Let's stop. Good. Okay. Good job. Let's go ahead and have Michelle pull up the chart, the NEPQ chart there. Where is Caden and Jacob in NEPQ right now? What part of NEPQ? What section are they in? I want to hear it. Where are they? Some of you are getting it right. Some of you are right. He is in solution awareness questions. Solution awareness questions. Look there. Get the prospect to see. There's two parts. What have they done in the past about changing the newfound problems that Caden just, well, basically had Jacob tell himself, the gap, and then what does the future look like once the newfound problems are solved? Now, I have to ask you, okay, go ahead and unshare that real quick. Thank you, Michelle. Now, you did a few things there. What were some things you noticed? In the chat, type in the biggest thing you noticed that stood out to you from Caden that you've never really thought about before, and you're like, whoa, I could see how that would work for me. What was the biggest thing you looked there? Let's go ahead and unshare the slide there, Michelle. Thank you. Perfect. Now, you want me to show you everything he did there? You want me to show you? Caden, why did you say when he said, oh, I don't know, she'd have to get a loan or something? Oh, no, or did he say that or did you bring that? What did he say there? I can't remember.
He said, I don't know. And I said, would she just have to get like a loan and pay all that interest or?
Right. Yeah, because somebody on here is like, this is unethical. The problem is if Caden can't help this prospect see a gap, build a gap from where he is to where he's like could be, when Jacob passes away, his wife is what? Financially host. Financially host.
Yeah.
Which is unethical. Caden helping him overcome his concerns, and Jacob's wife is financially protected when he passes away. Jacob, are you going to pass away eventually?
Yeah.
We all do, right? This is going to
Imagine.
hey, this is a problem happening that's going to happen. So if he doesn't help Jacob feel pain, Jacob doesn't even feel any need to change. Remember that word change, everybody? And when Jacob doesn't feel a need to change, he throws out objections. And when Jacob passes away, what happens to his spouse? Well, she's affected for the rest of her life. So tell me, which is unethical? Acquiring skills to get Jacob to let his guard down so he can protect his family? Or just, winging it, doesn't feel any pain, and Jacob's wife just kind of suffers from that? You guys tell me. Now, you said something, so you did like, oh, would she have to get like a loan and pay all that interest, or what would happen? Why would you say it that way? Why would you say that in a concerned tone? Why would it be a concerned tone? Go ahead.
Yeah, because I want to be concerned. I'm showing concern for like,
Yeah.
what does she get? Like, that's going to put her in a bad situation. This isn't good.
So is she going to have to get like a loan and pay off all that interest, or what would she have to do? Why would you add the interest there? What does that do in his mind? What does that cause him to think?
He's thinking of stuff he probably hadn't thought of before.
Yes. See, now Jacob, Caden seeded in his brain that if he doesn't do anything right there, Jacob is now thinking like, oh, my wife is going to have to get a loan and pay off the interest. Would Jacob want to do that to his spouse? Probably not. Had Caden not seeded that, there's no gap there. See, when that happens, Jacob starts to have a bigger gap. See how there's more urgency. Yes, Kevin, you're getting it. Sense of urgency. When there's no urgency, there's no sales. Are you guys getting this? Type in urgency. If you want me, if you want Matt, if you want our maybe we'll have some of our clients train you guys to learn urgency over the next 12 months, to become a master of urgency. When you started learning that, Caden, what happened to your sales?
I stopped getting objections and they started just
worse. Did you get worse when you learned how to get the prospect to feel urgency?
Yeah, deals actually started going through instead of following up for weeks.
Okay, all right. Now, another thing you did. So how come so important to you now? How come this is so important to you now? Somebody tell me in the chats what that just did. That's an NEPQ probing question. How come this is so important to you now? What did he just make Jacob internalize and think about in his brain by saying and focusing on one word? Close. He didn't say, how come this is so important to you now, though? Because if he said now, though, Jacob would have said it's important now, like time. Remember, Matt was talking about that yesterday.
I did ask him that. I asked him that about 3 minutes later.
You did. Okay, you guys got it. But first he said, why is this so important to you now? Now, Jacob, his mind went where? Jacob, where did your mind go? It had to go that way.
Yeah, I just started thinking about right now. Like it's just time. Like I need to do something because of the question.
Stacy DeMonto said it right. Well, then shifting thought process. Has anybody ever been trained how to shift thought process in a sales situation? Going to go on a limb and say you haven't, right? Do you see the levels of the ball game of selling that you can play if we trained you those? Who wants to learn how to shift your prospect's mind into a different thought process by simply verbal pausing in your questions? Type in me if you want to learn that. Oh, Jacob, when you learned that, what did it do for you when you sold IULs?
Everything started going the way it should. But if you don't have the skills, you can't get anywhere. I can tell you that.
Yeah, selling is the easiest, most profitable job in the world if you have the right skills. Highest paying job in the world if you know and have been trained how to do it. If you don't have the right skills, it is the hardest, lowest paying job. Are you everybody with me? Now you did a couple other things. There's so many things you did here that are so good. I'll just share the screen. Anybody want me to share this with you guys? All right, I'm going to show you this. You guys probably don't know a few other things he did there. He did what's called an identity frame. Tell us why you did this and why it works.
Yeah, what it does is number one, especially with a prospect like Jacob, who was a little bit more resistant in the beginning. I kind of build him up with the beginning of the identity frame because that diffuses and kind of labels him as like, hey, you're somebody who, your wife is lucky to have a man like you that's selfless enough. But on the back end, what I'm doing is I'm like giving him a contrast of not everybody cares about this. So I'm starting to build some urgency. I talked about kicking the can down the road. I said, you know what I mean? And what it does is they immediately kind of planted his flag in the sand and said, no, I don't want to do that to her.
Like that. Did everybody see what Caden did? Look, it's right there. I mean, we see that a lot. I mean, they're lucky to have somebody like you that, wants to take that burden off their shoulders so they don't have to worry about it. I mean, I talk to a lot of people every day, and you know how people are, right? They don't mind leaving responsibility on their spouse when they pass. You know what I mean? Like, and they always do what?
Oh, I could never do that. And what it really does is it takes us a lot of times before that point, we're talking about more logical stuff. And that shifts us into the emotion.
Does everybody want to learn how to get your prospect's brain to go from the logical side to the emotional side simply by how you use your tone and the questions you get them to internalize? Type in emotion if you want us to train you that over the next 12 months. Okay. Now you did another thing here. There's so many different things you hear. Now, one thing I would suggest, you don't have to do it every time. I know you've done it before. We teach all this in our virtual training portals. But when Jacob's like, oh, I don't know, she'd have to do something, I might be like, that could be trouble for you. Why would I say that? That could be trouble for you. Why wouldn't I why say that? That could be trouble for you. Who has the problem? The prospect or Caden? The prospect. Who has a solution? Caden. So see, he's getting the prospect to qualify to him. You guys, it's not your fault. You were trained that way, but you've been taught that you got to qualify to the prospect. Which one is going to make you more sales? See what we're doing? And then the last thing here, okay, you said, why so important to you now, though? And he said, what, Jacob?
He said he was just going after it. He was just getting me to where I was going.
It's important now because of blah, 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 right?
100%.
Okay, let's go. Let's stay away from the product framing. That's just going to take too long. And I want to bring out Jim in a second here. Why don't we get into like your last like 1 or 2 solution awareness questions, and then let's go into consequence. Everybody ready? You better write this down. I told you I'm going to go 2 hours and 15 minutes. Who wants to stay 2 hours and 15 minutes so you can start selling more on Monday? Would it be worth it? Would it be worth it to stay an extra 1 hour and 15 minutes so you could sell more? Or is it more important to go watch Netflix? Which one's going to make you more money on Monday? Okay, I think we have some true pros. I love you guys. Like, hey, you guys are professionals on here. All of you guys here, like this has been the most engaged group. I've done a few of these over the last couple of years. Well done for you guys. Okay, let's pick up the role play. I love this. Jim, I'm going to bring it in a second.
I can see why this is so important to you. It sounds like when something happens, especially, if it happened like now, things might be a little bit like stressful.
Yeah, I'd say so. Just because I only have so much.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if we were able to find you the coverage so that your wife didn't have to come up with all that money, her like just having everything taken care of, having no financial obligations, how do you see that like helping her the most when you do pass?
I would just give her that stress-free, worry-free peace of mind.
But actually knowing she wasn't going to have to stress and worry, like what would that do for you personally?
Oh, it'd make me feel like I did something.
Make you feel like you did something.
Yeah, I was a leader. I was a provider for Mary.
It's kind of like that, the old saying goes, right? Have you ever heard the saying like, heavy is the head that wears the crown?
No, fill me in.
It's talking about that leadership, right? And it's not always about like, the money or whatever that is. It's about the decision making and actually wearing the crown and like taking care of the things that you have to take care of. And it's heavy because you have to bear that responsibility. So heavy is the head that wears the crown. What are your thoughts?
I love it. That's me. That's what I want to be.
I guess, I mean, it seems like you've thought about this quite a bit. Can I ask you, like, what would things really look like for Mary if something did happen to you, like having to come up with all that money unexpectedly?
Oh, I don't know how she would come up with the rest, like I said earlier.
What would she do though? Like if you really thought about it?
Maybe get a loan. I don't know. Ask the family. I really don't want that though.
Okay. So it's important for you to do something then.
Yeah.
That's what I needed to know, because based on what you've told me, what we're doing here would work for you. Because you know how you said that you want to make sure she's like totally protected and she doesn't have to worry about anything and stress. But right now, like we only have that 2,000, so she'd have to come up with the difference, and that might be a little bit, I guess, just tough.
Yeah.
And so what I can do, if it would help, is I can walk through the different options of what most of our clients would do in your situation to help bridge that gap to make sure she doesn't have to worry about any of that. Would it help you if I walked you through that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, let's stop. What did you notice? Type in the biggest thing you noticed in the last 3 minutes that Caden did that you've never really understood before? I want to hear that from you. Okay. All right. So good. Good. Now, where are we at in the process? Michelle, let's bring that slide back up. What stage are we in? Remember, he got him to see what the future looks like once the newfound problems are solved. Now, how did he do that? That's solution awareness questions. I'll share the script there. What question did you ask on that? How did you get him to see what the future looks like once the problems were solved?
Yeah, I said let's say we were able to get you the coverage so that you knew that Mary was protected. She wasn't going to have to worry about any money when you do pass away. Her having that financial protection there and not having to worry about the funds, how do you see that helping her the most?
What does that do to the prospect?
Yeah, it immediately gets them to start visualizing the future.
Yeah, it's not enough to help them. Like, we're going to show you, like, if you want us to train you for the next 12 months, we're not just going to show you how to build such a big gap, like with all these problems, but we also have to show you how to get them to see what the future looks like once the problems are solved, right? Now, Michelle, go ahead and unshare that real quick. Now, then you got into, where are we at? We're in consequence questions now, right? You want me to share
Yep.
your consequence question? I don't remember which one you asked. Now,
I don't know. I tailored it to Jacob. I
Yeah,
don't
why
even know
would
if
we
it
do
was
that?
necessarily on the script.
Yeah, why would we do that? Why wouldn't we just read the consequence question on the script? Why do we
Yeah.
want to?
I want it to be conversational. I want it to flow. I want it to match the conversation that I'm having.
Yeah. If you don't, they feel like you don't really understand their unique situation, right?
Exactly.
You're not listening. Yeah. So even though this was the consequence question, we have these all written down on the scripts and everything. He knows he has to angle it and tweak it based on what Jacob just said for it to land. Because if he just said a different consequence question that sounded like a robot, Jacob would be like, huh? He would have lost him. So what if what happens if you don't do anything about this and I know you're healthy, but let's say you pass away years before you thought you would, like how would she end up paying for the house and the expenses at that point? See what I did? What did my tone sound like? Concern. Why would I
Yeah.
use a concerned tone there? Caden?
Yeah, because that's going to like show them that you care, and that's why you're asking. And so then they're going to answer honestly. Whereas if you just, builds that gap.
Yeah, does the prospect start to trust you more when they feel like you care generally? Right, Jacob? I mean,
Yeah,
Jacob, you do.
status start raises. Yeah,
You're
absolutely. They
you're a
start
young
viewing you
kid.
as the expert.
You're a young kid and you're dealing with investors that have millions of dollars. How do you get them to let their guard down?
You have to ask the right questions.
And
Got to talk to them
Yeah.
as if, like, me and Kaden are role playing right now. Like, it's got
Yeah.
to be a conversation. They
Yeah.
have to trust you.
Exactly. Like, you're building situational status. Who wants to learn over the next 12 months how to ask consequence questions that get the prospect to internalize it so deep where they tell you and themselves that there is no way they can stay doing what they're doing, that they have to change? Who wants to learn that over the next 12 months like these two gentlemen have? Okay, good. Now, there's another thing you did there I thought was pretty good. That transition part there where you're like, oh, so, what most of our clients do is, so what I can do is I can go over kind of what we do for, what most clients want us, what most, say that again. I can't remember what you said.
Yeah. So what I can do if it would help you is I can go over some of the different options that most of our clients would take in your situation. Would that help?
What I can do is go over the different options that most of our clients that kind of have your situation actually do. Would that help you if I did that for you? Who is getting who to qualify to who? Caden has learned how to get the prospect to what? Qualify to him. Type in qualify. If you want me and Matt and our trainers, maybe our clients, to train you how to build your status so high where the prospect feels you are doing them a favor by allowing them to go through a presentation on how you can solve their problems and allowing them to buy from you to get them where they want. Would that help you sell more than what you are now? Who in here believes that if you learn that one skill of getting the prospect to qualify to you, that you could double your sales right now? Type in me if you believe, if we trained you that for 12 months, that you could do that. Okay, good. All right, let's keep going here. Why don't we, don't go through the presentation. Actually, let's bring up Jim here. Jim, I've been abandoning you, man. I feel bad. I was like, hey, let's have some B2B people out here. We don't even use Jim. Now, Jim, solution awareness. Let's take a look at yours here real quick. Tell us a little bit about what you've learned in solution awareness and consequence.
Well, especially in the B2B setting, what's really helpful for me is in the solution awareness, I can help the prospect, or sometimes it's like a group that I'm talking to, the prospects, start identifying multiple benefits for them individually, but then also across the business.
Yeah.
If they use our product. And then the other thing is, as we're doing that, you can tell they're starting to really see and kind of get attached to a much better future. So then we whip it away with a consequence question. What are the ramifications if you don't do anything about this, right?
Yeah.
The group tends to get whiplash if I'm on one of these like group software demos, and they begin fighting and arguing to me why they need to do something.
Type in me. If you sell B2B to multiple people, multiple decision makers, and you want to learn how to get your prospects in a boardroom meeting, in an office situation, on the phone or on Zoom, fighting among each other on why they need to change their situation with you. Type in me if you feel that if you learn that from us over the next 12 months, that you could double what you are doing right now. Type in me. Okay, a few of you. Okay, Jim. All right, so Jim, give us an example here, like consequence question. Let's take a look at this. Like, what's one of your big one here that you would do?
So I really like to use the ramifications question.
Yeah.
So what are the ramifications for the organization if you all don't do anything about this? The members, keep getting disinterested and leaving for the next like 1 or 2 or 3 years. Like what happens to you all at that point?
Did you see the verbal pause there? Did you see how he knew what he was going to say? It's literally on a script almost. But did you see how his facial expressions implied that he was what? Thinking about what he was going to say. Now, psychologically, just so you guys know, I'm a behavioral science. I'm actually a scientist. Did you guys know that? That's crazy to think of. There you go. But anyways, so what that happens in the prospect's brain is now, because they feel that like you were sitting there, like Jim is thinking about like something, he's in deep thought. When he asks the question, it causes their brain to do what, Jim?
They involuntarily, on like a subconscious level, when the tonality and the body language and the words we're using, they all line up. I'm going to say Matt Ryder's favorite word, and we're congruent with the way that we're communicating with the prospect.
Yeah.
It's an involuntary reflex.
Congruent? What was that?
I did, Matt.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it causes them to think deeper about what you just asked.
It sure does. And one of the things I noticed when I started getting better at NEPQ, and I noticed I was really getting traction.
Yeah.
When the questions started getting really good, I'd have these to me, previous, I don't know if anybody on the B2B space here ever talks to people that can be like intimidating, like CEOs, executive directors, VPs.
Who does? Type in me.
I mean, I think we're all human. And if you're not intimidated by these people as a sales rep without skills, like I think you're either lying or you're dumb, right? Let's just be real.
Yeah.
But what I noticed is that as the questions got higher quality and more congruent, it would be that situation where, well, hold on. So for the business, what is the rationale for actually getting like a more robust integrated software versus, I don't know, having the IT department cook something up? And these people are now fighting with each other. Well, no, we got to do it for this reason. I feel we have to do it for that reason. Oh gosh, wow, okay, right. So I just wanted to make that point.
Does everyone see the power you can have once you master NEPQ? Type in me if you want us to, because what we're showing here is just a few things. Type in me if you want us to show you everything over the next 12 months that just these 3 clients have learned. They're still learning, right? That's the cool thing about it. All right, let's come back over. Jim, that was golden. Let's come over back to Kate and Jacob here on the role play. Everybody ready? All right, let's go. Let's go into, what do you want to go into, like the commitment?
We can just go through the committing.
Yeah, and then he throws out the objection. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So which of these would you lean more towards?
The 15,000. be
Oh,
ideal.
really? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to think about it though.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I'm surprised you say the 15,000. I was expecting you to say like the 10,000. How come the 15,000, just so I understand?
Oh, I mean, I think that's a good price point, to be fair.
Okay, what other than the price though, like what do you think about the 15,000? Like what do you see as being the most helpful there?
Oh, 10,000, she could have an extra 5,000, go on a vacation or something. Just seems reasonable.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Now, just to see if there's something I could help with, what is it like specifically that you're wanting to think about?
Oh, I just want to make sure that this is right, and that I can go check the
Make sure
finances.
it's right.
But yeah,
Mhm.
just check the finances, make sure everything's good.
Okay, so if you're like for sure wanting to get something, you just want to double check, make sure we shouldn't get a little bit more, a little bit less. Just make sure that it's gonna fit into like what you've got there.
Yeah. I just still got to think about it though, Kaden.
Yeah. Now,
What is it
just
that
so
you're wanting to go over in your mind, just so I understand that when we talk again?
I just just maybe want to really just make sure I can afford this.
am I back in the game?
You're back.
I'm
I had
back
to.
in the game.
It's too easy. Go.
It,
um,
it was a T-ball right there. It was
Yeah.
toss up.
okay. Now, if you could afford it with this policy, does everything else make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what are like the different avenues that you could think of where you could come up with the funds so that you were able to get that 15,000 for Mary so that she wouldn't have to worry about the cremation and had some extra money left over to be able to take care of the extra bills.
I'm sure we could go on one less ice cream date.
Well, I don't want you to have to give up ice cream.
Yeah,
How
but
often are you guys going on ice cream dates?
like twice a month.
You'd give up
Okay.
ice cream to give her coverage when you pass away?
Yeah, she's worth it.
Ah, I don't. Hey, look, I don't want you sleeping on the couch tonight. I mean, what happens if you didn't get the policy for her?
Well, I mean, she probably wouldn't go on any ice cream dates.
Could be trouble for you.
Yeah,
What do you think you should do?
I should probably not go on one less ice cream date.
Why?
Oh, because I really think she should have the coverage.
Would she?
I mean, I should get the coverage for her. Just simply because it's my responsibility that me
Yeah.
putting in the crown, it's, just really what a leader should do.
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of people would say that to us for sure, but for you, because, financially protecting her, you're not even going to be here. So why is it important for you? Besides all
Oh,
the crown stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's just something that I don't have coverage, and like I just seen that turmoil happen 5 years back, and I
Yeah.
just really think it's time that I do something.
What did the what did the turmoil do to you?
Just made me feel terrible, like seeing all that happen, and I wouldn't want that same effect happen to Mary.
What would she feel if it did?
Probably just wouldn't be good.
Yeah. Okay. Should I show you what to do?
Yeah.
Okay. What did I just do there?
Overcame the concern. You even helped him overcome it.
Why would I want to help Jacob overcome his own concern rather than me trying to tell him why he needs it for Mary? Who just told him? Who just basically told Jacob he needs it for Mary? Himself.
I did myself. Yeah.
Type in me if you want to learn how to get your prospects to do all the work, sell themselves, overcome their own concerns, and pull you in rather than you trying to do all the work, you trying to do all the convincing. Oh, that sounds exhausting. And you trying to overcome their objections with rebuttals that you probably know don't work that well. Type in me if you want me, Matt, our sales trainers, some of our clients even do this training. Jacob and Caden do some training on the side with us. Type in me if you want to acquire the skill in the next 12 months. Like, type in me if you want me to train you every single day for 30 minutes for the next 12 months. Every single day for the next 30 minutes, every 12 months. Now, do you believe if I trained you every single day for 30, 40 minutes, maybe longer if you want me to, and our trainers, Matt, everybody, type in me if you believe you would sell more within 30 days from now. Type in 30 days if you believe that. Type in me if you believe you would sell more in 90 days from now than you are now. Type in me if you believe you would sell more than you are now in 6 months from now. And type in me in 12 months from now if your results would be radically different than they are right now. Okay, a few of you. Okay, good. All right, what did you do there, Caden? That was pretty good. What did you see I did there? I had to do it. I get, it's like riding a bike. I got to get back in there sometimes, you know?
Yeah, no, I like when you do. I always learn something.
See?
That was very, very smooth. Yeah, so the think about it objection came up.
Yeah.
And so that's not a real objection. So then from there, we found out the real objection, isolated, and then from there, what you did is you kind of helped him reframe his thinking.
Yeah.
To instead of being focused on the price, you drove him back into results-based thinking.
Does everybody want to learn from me and Matt and everybody, trainers, how to use reframing techniques that quite literally will reframe your prospects into what is best for them? Is it good for Jacob to get this policy in this situation to protect Mary? It is, right? It's our responsibility. Okay, gentlemen, stay on for a second. We're going to have, hey, so do you want these guys to answer some questions for you? Do you want Jacob to answer some questions for you? Do you want Caden to answer some questions for you? Do you want Matt to answer questions? Do you want Jim to answer some questions here for the next hour about what we're going to do? Not a little bit, well, about 45 minutes. Type in me if you want them to answer some of your questions. Now, here's what I want to do, because Matt, we were talking because there's a lot of people messaging. How many people were messaging you last night, Matt? Like 10,000, 2,000, 1,000, I don't even know.
It was wild. I just ended up turning it off. I was like, I'm out of here.
I had to turn, I did too. I had to turn it off. People were messaging me because yesterday we gave, there was like 3,000 people on there, a very unique opportunity that we don't do. Very unique opportunity because we thought you guys were like the best group we've ever trained here on one of these challenges. And we're like, we wanted to put together like a training package for you that you could use like tomorrow to like log in and sell more. Like we wanted to do that. And there was a lot of you messaging like, I missed day 3. I heard you were offering some training for 12 months. Like, how do I get it? How do I get the books? How do I get the tonality training, the virtual training courses? What do I do? Help, what's going on? Do you want us to go through that with you again? Because there was a bunch of questions there. Anybody want us to give you, dare I say, well, our clients would say an opportunity of a lifetime. Now let's go ahead and share those screens and let's keep everybody on, because I'm gonna have you guys ask them questions. Because what I did is I thought I would just have some of our clients answer your questions. Would everybody want our clients to answer your questions rather than me and Matt? Who cares about me and Matt?
They don't have to. They don't have to.
They don't have to. Just pack it up. We don't have to answer questions. All right, so we're gonna do that. Let's go, Michelle. Go ahead and pull up those screens here, and we're gonna answer their questions here. All right. Now, oh, you guys, should I do this? Okay. I want to do this. I like doing this. I like seeing you win. We have 19,000 plus testimonials, and that's how we keep score here. We just count those testimonials every single day, 30 to 50 new ones coming in. Just makes it all worth it. Like getting up every day and doing this. So the question is, do you want me? Do you want Matt? Do you want Marco? Do you want our sales trainers? Do you even have clients who subcontract with you, teach you everything about an EPQ? Because over the last 4 days, you've gotten less than 1%. Do you want us to train you the questions and how to use your tonality and reframing for what you sell? You sell right now. Now, do you feel that a person who has knowledge or expertise that has maybe sold a lot more than you have could teach you that same knowledge. Type in me if you feel me, Matt, our sales trainers, our clients who make a lot of sales now in their industries can teach you that same knowledge and you could use it and you would sell more. Type in me if you believe a person who has knowledge you do not have can give you that knowledge so you don't lose sales. Who believes that? Who believes that in the chat? Okay. Now, I'm going to give you a disclaimer here because I love you and I'm concerned for some of you because you've seen lots of testimonials. You know, we've got everybody know this works. We're not hiding under a shell. We're everywhere. Okay. We're a large sales training company. We got 19,000 plus testimonials. But Matt and I are concerned that if we show you some clients' results here, you might feel what? That you don't have to do anything to learn those results. Okay. So as a disclaimer, anytime you see any of our testimonials, 19,000 plus from our clients, it in no way guarantees that you are going to get the same results as they do. You could make more than Caden and the thousands of others. You could make less. It requires acquiring the right sales skills and other important skill sets. The clients that go through our virtual training portals daily, like I said, 30 minutes a day, they get on training calls, live and archive, they role play, they practice, they apply the training, and they work hard to achieve success. We cannot, Matt, can we guarantee them results? Because we have no way to guarantee that they're going to apply themselves to the degree necessary to actually get those results.
It's not even fair to even talk about it because
it's not even fair.
The only guarantee in life is that you die, pay tax. And when you die, you pay tax.
Yeah.
All we can do is put ourselves in the best position to be able to get an outcome. That's why I have a poster with 4,000 dots on my wall. Do you know, like, have you ever told you about that?
I love that. Tell them about it. It's good. Take a minute.
So I have a poster. It's got 4,000 dots. And then every single Monday, I cross one off. So 4,000 weeks is the average lifespan of a human being. Now, me, I've been to more funerals than I had weddings, right? I spent my whole 20s kicking doors in, doing the thing, being a, action man type dude. And I lost a lot of friends along the way. And so I look at being here as an enormous opportunity.
Yeah.
And so I look at it as like a spit in the face of the people who aren't here.
Yeah.
That, like, if I don't do everything I need to do in order to get my outcome, then like, what am I doing? And so every single Monday I go up and I get a chance to reflect. Yeah. Have I done everything that I need to do to be the father I want, the husband I want, the provider I want, the leader I want, the professional that I want? And if I haven't, then why not? I need to be introspective about that. Like, if I have an opportunity to do something to push the ball forward, to get to my goal, whether it be faster, more efficiently, whatever it may be, then like you pay. Yeah. You pay with what you value less. Yeah. And it's your time or money. Yeah. 100%. And so the only thing that we can't get back is time. And so for me, I'm gonna try my best to pay with money. That's for sure.
Who wants time? Who wants to have time? If we trained you for the next 12 months, all these skills, because you just barely showed you 1% of the last 4 days, you knew everything over the next 12 months, would it give you more time? So you didn't have to play the numbers game? Would it? Okay, so who on here wants to do that? All right, so type in me. Now, we had some people that threw in questions, so I thought our some of our clients would answer. I put together these slides early in the morning. How many of you, how much time do you feel like you need to train? Like, I know some of you are asking this question because this client asked me that, and I'm going to ask Jim and Caden and Jacob in a second. How many of you are thinking, great, Jeremy, I want you to train me for 12 months. I know I'm going to sell more, but I don't have time. Be honest. Type in me if you're like, I just don't feel like I have time to learn these skills. I'm so busy. Okay. Now, can I help you with something? A few of you that said that. How much time do you feel you need to learn how to sell more? How much time every day do you feel like you need to learn how to sell more? Could you do 30 minutes a day? So for you who said, I don't have time, could you do 30 minutes a day if you knew you would sell more? Would you do it? What do you listen into your car when you drive to the grocery store? What do you have on in your car? What are you listening to in the car when you drive to work? When you drive to the gym? What do you listen to in the gym? What do you listen to when you're ironing or when you're eating breakfast? What are you listening to for 10 minutes at night before you go to bed? Are you 100% sure you don't have time to sell more? You see, top anybody, top 1% salespeople. Hayden, what did they do? Hayden, what did top 1% salespeople do?
They take action.
Yeah, they take the time, right?
Yep.
What do top coaches do? What do top consultants do? What do top entrepreneurs do? What do top athletes do? They take the time to learn. That's why they're what? At the top. Now, what do average athletes do? What do average coaches do? What do average entrepreneurs do? What do average salespeople do? They make what? Excuses. Who believes if we trained you, if we agreed to train you for 30 minutes a day for the next 12 months, that you could dedicate 30 minutes a day to yourself and your family so you can sell more? Who would be willing to spend 30 minutes a day while you're driving around instead of listening to Taylor Swift? Because how much money does she make you every month when you're listening to her in the radio? I love you, Taylor. How much money are your songs making you every single month? How much money is your political talk radio making you every single month? Zero. Who believes we train you for 30 minutes a day for 12 months, you would make more sales if we agree to do that? Okay. You guys okay with that? Just like this client here. I mean, I could show you a billion of these. Look at her, Anna. What would happen? See, when she got into sales, she sold like low ticket items. Type in me if you sell something that's like really, that doesn't cost that much, like $100, $200, $500. It doesn't cost that much. Do you want to acquire the skills to sell things that are even way more money, like thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars, or like Jim, hundreds of thousands of dollars? Okay, she did. What would have happened to her if she believed the lie that society says you don't have time? She'd still be where she was, right? Okay. Look at this client right here. We had a couple people that messaged us. Who in here sells B2B? Type in me if you sell B2B. I always love this one, Jim. I want to ask you about this. A lot of people in B2B, because about 20% of all of our clients are in the B2B space, which is normal because there's more consumers in the world than there are companies to sell to. And a lot of B2B people are like, I don't know, Jeremy, like my prospects don't let me ask questions. They just want the facts. There's no emotion. There's just demos. You know, this client even said that here before he started. The Shri guy makes all this money now. And, you know, they're like, oh, it has to be sold a certain way. There's just no way. Now, who believes your product is so unique that there's no way they could ever have questions asked to them? Jim, did you believe that?
In my mind, I'm ashamed to say, Jeremy.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, these big time decision makers at the top of the organization. In my head, they're like these mean robots. They're not people. So questions won't work for them. It wouldn't work because it'd be so different.
What did you find out when you started learning tonality and questions?
As soon as I actually upgraded my skill set, I was like, oh my God, they're people.
They're
people.
people. They're human beings.
Yeah.
Now type in me. I love you guys. Type in me if the prospects you talk to are humans. Type in me if the prospects you talk to have problems and or emotional needs. Type in me if your solution solves those. So what I think I heard all of you just say, that your prospects have problems and or emotional needs, and your solution solves those. So obviously, the question you might want to ask if you're in B2B is, Jeremy, Matt, Jim, everybody, I haven't learned yet how to use my tonality and my questioning ability to get my prospects to want to let their guard down and not stay surface level. Will you train me for 12 months so I can acquire that skill so I can actually do that? Would that be a question you should ask us how to do? Okay, good. Now, who is this not for? Can I tell you who this is not for? Okay. This is not for salespeople who have massive egos. who think they know everything about selling and persuasion just because they make 6 figures a year. You know, Matt, you know this. When I was making almost $3 million a year in commissions as a W-2 or 1099 rep, I was still learning more skills to do more. Because would I be here right now?
You even have people that you speak to now, I mean, who are better at like tiny little things than you. Like you hired a coach, what, like 6 months ago for like 1 or 2 little things?
Hollywood coaches to teach even more tonality that, you know, teach tonality to Tom Cruise. See, I train you all that in our courses. That's where I learned advanced tonality when I was in sales. Do you want to learn how to have tonality and body language like Tom Cruise or Julia Roberts or any movie star? Yeah, because that's where I learned a lot of tonality. Type of me if you want to learn.
I was making 250 grand a year when I came to you. I
Yeah,
was the guy in the whole company.
and then you got up to over $1 million a year.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've never been accused of being humble, but I know when people are better than me.
Hey, I've always learned it, right? So, you know, I mean, Matt, you know, there's different levels to the ball game, right? You,
totally.
the ball game of sales, you decide which level you want to play at. Type in which level you want to play at. Like, do you want to be at the top level, or you just want to be kind of in the middle, just average? Just want to be kind of good, or do you want to be bad, or do you want to be at the top? Because these are all just choices you make, right? I love this. You know, this client right here. I mean, you've trained this client a lot. He's in home improvement. I remember this client. I have to say this. And Caden and Jacob, I'm going to ask you something. Jim,
Bill.
This client, yeah, this client was the #1 salesperson in the entire Midwest. Like legitly. I mean, he made a lot of money. He's going to make like I don't even know if like 400 or 500 grand a year.
Yeah, easy.
And I remember he got in the training. He's like, I don't know, like, how's this going to help me? I'm already the top rep in the entire Midwest. Why don't you read what he put there, guys? What you want to read what he put there? Look what he read. He said, I usually average this. Been sales in a long time. I needed to get to the next level. This process started to click for me last month. It took him a couple months. I just earning commissions. What did he put there in 1 month? Can anybody read that? Somebody post what he put there. What he made in 1 month. 1 month. Wow, that's amazing. Now, what would have happened to Bill if he thought he knew everything? There's no way, Jeremy, no way, Matt, no anybody could teach him anymore. Where would he be at? The same level he was before.
He'd have to fly business instead of first. Could you imagine?
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, that'd be trouble. He'd have to fly back and coach. Who wants to start flying first class everywhere you go? Type in first class because you bump up your sales skill. That's what I'm talking about. You know, so NPQ works for anything you sell. Doesn't matter the product, the service industry. Everybody already know it works for every industry. You wouldn't even see our ads if it didn't work for your industry. We're in 161 different industries. It even works for people who speak different languages. Now, be real with me. Be honest with yourself. How many of you are like, Jeremy, I love this, but in my country, I live in this country and people do not let me ask questions. There's no way this would work. They just want the straight facts. There's no way it could work. Human psychology does not work in France or Brazil or the UK or Australia or this country, or I'm just going to make up an excuse on why I can't get better. Can we help you with that? What if you relanguage that question and you ask, Jeremy, I haven't learned yet how to use my tonality and my body language and words that would cause the prospect to trust me enough to let their guard down. Will you train me for 12 months so I don't have that problem anymore? Type in me if you want us to train you how to do that. Now, the cool thing is, a lot of you don't know, I'm going to release this now. I'm probably going to get in trouble. Probably somebody's going to yell at me, but you know, AI is coming, right? So our training products this year are going to be translated in other languages where you can hear me and Matt in our tonalities in those languages. That's about 3-4 months down the road. It's a little bit down the road. We're waiting on AI to get better. Would that help you if you learned it in your language? Now, it won't be done next month. It's going to be a while out. We're researching which one. But if like you're French or, you know, Swedish or whatever, and you have it in your language, would that help you? Portuguese, Spanish, would that help you? Okay, good. AI's coming. It's pretty cool. All right, so we're going to remind you what you get because you're asking us. So a lot of questions you had, you're like, hey, what do I get? The training package that me and Matt and our team put together for you. So what we're going to do for this group only, because you've been so engaged.
Whoop, whoop.
Type in me if you want us to do something very unique. for the next 12 months. Like Jim, like Jacob, like Caden, those are 3 clients out of what, 59,000 that we have now. So here's what we're going to do. We put together a package for you called NEPQ 2.0 system. Click the next link there. That's a transition slide there, Michelle. So what you're going to get is we're going to have the NEPQ sales system. The newly enhanced 2.0 version has a retail value of $3,997. So literally, if you want us to train you for the next 12 months, here in about 20 minutes or so, if you get into the training, you're going to get an email with login instructions, and you will be able to log in and go through the same training that Caden, Jacob, Jim, and 19,000 plus testimonials are going through on a daily basis, who would want to do that to make more sales than what you are now. Now, step number 1, go ahead, Matt.
You don't have to. I mean, you can stay exactly where you are. That might be a good option.
It's not really going to affect me anymore. I already have some, I have boring cars. You have all the cool cars. I just drive the Range Rovers, some of you drive the Lambos, but not me. I'm not the cool guy. All right. So step 1, and I want to ask Caden and Jim and Jacob this question. So write this down. Step 1, here's the main thing we're going to teach you. We're going to teach you how to get your prospects to let their guard down, how to connect with zero resistance. Now, this has been proven over and over again, 19,000 plus testimonies, people in our training. How are we able to get salespeople in every industry so good at getting their prospects to let their guard down? Caden, what was the biggest thing you learned from the training that just caused the prospect to let their guard down? I have to ask you. Let's put him back.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing was the tone.
Let's put Caden up there, guys. Yep. The tone. Tell us.
Yeah, the tone. Knowing exactly what to say, when to say it, how to say it. That made the biggest difference, because everybody always thinks it's the words at first, and I thought it was the words as well. When I started to realize,
guilty of that. Type in guilty. That's you.
Takes a while to learn that. Yeah. But what I started to quickly learn, as long as my tone was good, then I got a lot further in these conversations, and I was able to all of a sudden start overcoming objections, even though in the beginning I didn't know what words to use. As long as I had the right tone, there was no pressure.
Exactly. We're going to teach you a concept called open looping. Type in, if you want to learn advanced looping, type in looping. We haven't hardly shown you that yet. We're going to show you how to trigger curiosity by looping with your tone. Now, step number 2, I'm going to ask Jacob this question. Write this down. This is crucial. If you only understand how to get your prospects to start to understand what their real situation is, because most don't when they start. So in this part of the training, we're going to help you learn what questions to ask that, remember what Jim said, raises your status in the prospect's mind, where they view you as an expert, not just another salesperson trying to sell them something. Type in me if you feel when you're talking with your prospects that they just look down at you, that they feel like you're trying to sell them something, and they just stay surface level, and they treat you bad and commoditize. Type in me if you felt that way. Jim, can I ask you, like, when you started learning how to raise your status, what did that do to your sales? I have to ask.
Well, first of all, the sales and the close rate went sky high, but I finally felt like I was really in control of the process, because I had not just the questions that I was going to ask, but I knew exactly how to ask them where I would elicit the response that I wanted. So like this one, understand their real situation. I'm giving away a golden nugget to some B2B folks on here. We developed a question for my script where, leading into the problem awareness, I can ask my prospects, well, hold up, how long have they been making you do it that way?
Making you do it that way. And what were they saying?
Oh man, they've been making me do it this way for like 2 years. 2 years. Oh man, did you like having to do it that way?
See what we're doing?
Yeah. And then they begin, it's great because you can see the gears begin to turn in their head, and the real situation becomes apparent. Now we're having a real sales conversation.
Type in me if you want to learn how to raise your status in every prospect's mind that you talk to, where they look at you as an authority, an expert, and higher status than them in what you're talking about. Would that make you more sales? Type in me if you believe that. All right. Now, the next step, there's a lot more to that. Step 3. Remember, you can't teach a kid how to what? Ride a bike at a seminar. So we're going to give you the sales ability to find out what's behind the prospect's problems, okay? And to get them to emotionally open up. How do human beings make buying decisions, right? This ability right here, if you master this, like Caden, like our clients are, and help them find out what's behind their problems, if you learned it, if I trained you that for 12 months, do you believe you would sell more than you are now? Type in more if you believe, if I train you how to get your prospects to tell themselves what's behind their problems, that would cause you automatically to sell more than you are now. That would be impossible, right? Step 4, this is really important. How do you get your prospects to pull you in? Michelle, let's go to the next slide there. How do you get them to pull you in and close themselves rather than you trying to do it? Caden, let's pull you back up here. What happens when you chase someone? What happens when you chase someone?
They run.
Does everybody get that when you start chasing everyone? Oh, I'm just following up. I'm just checking in. Do you feel like when you say that, your prospect's like, oh, I'm so glad you're following up, Jerry? They ghost you, right? Now, in this part of the training program, what did you learn to get them to like just chase you rather than you chase them?
It's those little techniques where you're building your status.
Yeah.
But also doing things where you're building that urgency.
Mm.
So like we just saw in the role play.
Yeah.
You know, where I'm challenging, I'm like, hold on, like that happened 5 years ago where the family turmoil has happened. Like what's held you back between now and then?
Yeah. And the funny thing will happen. Let's say you can't help them overcome, like, I need to talk with my spouse if you sold B2C. You're going to be shocked. And the way we show you how to do that is like a last case scenario, how we help you help them get their spouse on board. And when you have the appointment the next day to talk with them, they both show up and they both buy. Type in me. If you want to learn, even if you can't help them overcome the, I want to think it over or spouse concern, that they actually show up the next day in the appointment and they don't ghost you and they still buy because they don't feel pressured. Now, that doesn't mean you get to them like, well, just call me back if you're interested. That's not going to work. But type in me if you want to learn that crucial skill. Oh, Caden, you're welcome, by the way. You owe me some food. All right, so here it is, a step-by-step zero guessing. Who wants to know everything in NEPQ A to Z? Because, you know, we try to teach as much as we can in 4 days, but we're talking like thousands of hours we train you. We can't teach all that in 8 hours. A to Z, everything you need right now to sell more than what you are. Who wants to have that? Now, a lot of you have been asking great questions. I love this group. I love you guys. You were engaged. I would say you are probably, like I said, Ryder, dare I say, the best engaged group. Should we show them a sneak peek of the new 2.0 platform? Should we give them an insider's view?
Oof,
Should we show it? Anybody want to see it? The inside, like we're going to show you. We shot a little video. We're going to show it to you. Do you want us to show it to you for a minute? And then we're going to have our clients answer some more questions for you. Michelle, go to that next page there. Let's play that video. Let's watch it.
Are you ready to do sales differently?
Times have changed. You got to do something.
In these uncertain times, buyers are more skeptical than ever before. But a new model of selling is rising to meet the challenge.
We have to disarm the prospect.
Jeremy Miner, founder of the new model, along with his team at 7th Level, are changing how the game of sales is played. Introducing 7th Level's virtual training platform. That trains and teaches you this new, revolutionary way to sell that's changed the lives of over 487,000 sales professionals in over 68 countries.
We're humanizing the sales process.
It's here, and it works.
It's the new way of selling, and it works. I approve.
This feels so honest, and it feels like what we're doing, it just makes sense. When you think about the old way, you shake your head and just, it's like, why did we ever do it that way?
The new model of selling with its NEPQ method is the only friction-free sales system guaranteed to lift results. Enjoy 24/7 access and state-of-the-art forget-proof software. Tailored levels of training at the touch of a button. With over 41 hours of new model tactics, selling is now simple and certain, since it works with how your prospects think and with how they like to buy.
It really draws out emotions.
Finally, a duplicatable sales training system that lets you measure skills, predict results, and raise revenue in any economy. It's the future of selling. It's 7th level virtual training with Jeremy Miner.
Boy, my hair looked pretty razzy in that picture. Good Lord. Now, here's what we're going to do. Some of you are asking like, hey, Jeremy, can we get on some live training calls with you? Would you want that if I did that for you? Can't do them one-on-one because we have thousands of clients, but if we did them in small groups or big groups, a couple hundred people, would you show up if I did that for you or listen to the archive versions? Because here's what I'm going to do for you. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you access. Michelle, click that thing there. We're going to get access to the NEPQ industry phase calls weekly, but I'm only going to do it for you 90 days. Okay? Only 90 days. If you're that client that says, Jeremy, I need 95 days. I've cut you off. It's going to be 90 days for the next 3 months each week. And I'm going to break down NEPQ phase by phase, industry specific questions for different industries, including yours. And I role play those with you guys. I show you what to do. You hear my tonality and you see my body language. Now, if I took the time, because that's going to, those are hour and a half trainings times the next 12 weeks. How much time? I mean, Matt, we charge companies like $10,000 an hour just to even talk to me. We charge like 60 grand for an hour keynote. So that's like $2,997 value. I think I'm getting paid $40 an hour. But if I did that for you, because I actually care about you getting results, would you sell more if I did that for you, live training calls, besides the virtual training platform for the next year? Would you sell more? Do you believe you would sell more if I did that for you? If I showed you how to tie an NEPQ to what you sell? Jim, did it help you getting on those training calls? You're still on them.
I am still on them. And I think, not to pat myself on the back here, but I was informed by one of your top sales reps, Yash, that I actually had one of the best attendance records. Okay.
You did. Your attendance, we keep you guys accountable. Who wants us to keep you accountable? Because we know if you show up.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Well, my close rate about quadrupled. So yes, I would say that it helped.
You're already doing good. You were making like 6 figures.
Yeah.
Close rate quadrupled. Who wants to quadruple your close rate if I took the time and did these training calls for you? Okay, you okay with that? All right. So here's what I'm also going to do for you, because I'm actually a pretty nice guy subtypes. We're going to give you the NEPQ sales system, 3997 value, NEPQ industry phase call specifics. That's where I help you tie into what you sell. I'm going to do that for 90 days. And then we're going to give you some cold calling scripts. We train tons that cold call. Type in me if you cold call for your industry. This is a big thing that we do. Now, if you had the right words, the right questions, and I taught you the right tonality over the next 12 months, do you believe you would sell more than you are now? If you believe that, I want you to tell me and Matt why you feel you would. In the chats, I'm going to read these. Why do you feel if we trained you and you had the right words, the right questions, and sales structures and tonalities that you would sell more than you are now? Why do you feel like you would? Type in the chat why you feel you actually would. These are the same that we do for our corporate clients as well. This is one of our clients. Has anybody ever heard of this company here? Type in yes if you've heard of this company right here with the logo, the search engine thing, the Google thing. Yeah, so we trained 3 of their divisions. One of them actually cold calls. Okay, they paid us 66 grand. This is our first B2B client 5 years ago. This is before Matt was even a client. This is like when I started this thing with me and my assistant Beth. And they paid me $66,000 for 3 days of workshop trainings before we even had a virtual training course. Now, yesterday, full disclosure, I said 88,000. I actually thought it was. We went back to the bank accounts. It was only 66. Matt, can you imagine if we did 3-day workshops for 66,000? Oh my gosh.
More than that for 90 minutes.
I know. Good Lord. Let's go to $22,000. How many of you would want to see what results we got for Google within 90 days? of having the cold calling structures, because these are the ones we use for all leads, every industry, doesn't matter. You see this table here? Do you see that green number? Let's go to the next slide. You see that green number? What does that green number say? Anybody tell me what that green number says? That's the uplift. We increase their sales when I taught them how to cold call. One of the 4 industries I sold in, I cold called a lot, and I learned how to do it where the brain got very curious. 244%. Now, do you see the negative 11% down below it? That was the year before the results they got from the sales training company they hired the year before. It's the largest sales training company in the world. We're actually almost as big as them here in a couple of years, but they've been around since 1971, and they use those old school techniques, and they actually got worse. Now, who on here would do something crazy? Can I ask you something? Would you invest $66,000 to get a 244% increase in sales and income for the rest of your life? Type in me if you'd invest that much money, if you had the confidence you could learn what we train you, and you would make that type of increase the rest of your life. I don't even want to ask that, Matt, because I think that's crazy for an individual to pay, companies, that's fine. Who would invest half of that? If you knew, if we trained you daily for the next 12 months, you had the confidence to have status, high status, you knew the questions, who would do that if you felt like, hey, I could triple my sales for the rest of my life? Type in me if that's you. I mean, because you could buy an expensive watch, right? Matt, how much was your Rolex? They could just buy a Rolex. Why invest in sales training?
It's like 42,000.
Who would do that? Who would invest in sales training to triple sales? I mean, that sounds crazy. Who would invest even half of that? Who would invest half of that if you felt like, hey, if Jeremy and our team trained you for 12 months, I could triple my sales the rest of my life? Who would pay half of that? Who'd even pay half of that? Like 8,000. Who would pay 8,000 just one time if you knew you could triple your sales like these other clients are? Now you got to put in the work, full disclosure. You can't just not do anything. It's not going to happen. You don't do anything. But who believes you could do that if we trained you for the next 12 months? Because we're going to do this. We're going to give you calling your lead scripts as well. Who in here does outbound leads and inbound leads? Who does outbound leads where you call? Who does inbound leads that book on your calendar? You meet them in their home, their business, virtual. These are the same questions. Now, do you notice that when you ask questions now that your prospects give you vague, generalized, surface level answers? Type in me if you notice that. Okay. How many more sales, Caden, did you start making once you started learning these scripts compared to what you before? I have to ask Caden, what did you start doing? Just be real.
Yeah, it's I went from basically making no sales to all of a sudden I was making sales every day.
Okay.
And then it turned into multiple every day. All from the scripts and the training.
Is it better to make multiple sales per day than like no sales per day? Is everybody okay with that if we trained you how to do that? All right, so those are the scripts. Now, we're also going to give you a boot camp, Matt. I don't know if you know about that. We're going to do a boot camp next week, has a retail value of $29.97. So next week, we're going to start you in a boot camp as well. 5 days to help you get a crash course on NEPQ. We're going to show you some calendar management, some other stuff even outside of sales that's going to help you get an uplift now. Matt, how crucial is this boot camp even to learn some of the calendar management and other stuff that we teach even outside of NEPQ to get an uplift like quickly?
Well, I mean, like there's 2 ways to get better at sales. And the first one is to get extremely skilled, which I think is a super worthy thing. The second one is to understand how sales works as a process, as a system. And so we teach you things like how to get referrals, how to generate leads, how to use your calendar properly, how to even figure out what you're bad at.
Yeah.
Because we can spend a whole bunch of time trying to get better at certain things. And that might not even be what is the low hanging fruit for you. Maybe if you do 150 outbound dials and 15 people pick up, and then from there, 8 of them tell you to go away and you only have a conversation with 7 of them. If we can get that 7 people to 11 people, right, then you're going to have a lot more opportunity. And so that's what that's for.
Who would sell more just by getting the low-hanging fruit that you might not realize you're just not getting right now? Like our clients in your industry, they're getting that low-hanging fruit. Who wants to do it? Now, those are all recorded too. So if you miss a live, they're all archived and recorded as well. It's not a problem. Now, what we're also going to do is just like, it's the same training this guy. I mean, look at this. I had to throw this guy in here because I met him this summer. He's like become a personal friend. I think this is really cool. You don't know. I don't know if you know this because he's been some of our advanced stuff, but he's in Norway, Matt, and he
Yeah, yeah.
he won an award for being the top salesperson in his entire industry in all
Yowza.
of Scandinavia. That's Norway, Finland, and Sweden. He's in insurance, like rental insurance, like not life insurance, but it's a different insurance. Are you guys
Okay.
getting this? Like 3 years ago, this guy was an average rep. Now, in
And
his
that's not in the US, is it?
no, that's in Scandinavia. He's in
But I
Norway.
thought it didn't work anywhere that wouldn't be in the US.
Yeah,
Oh,
the Norwegians, they're not humans up there. There's the human behavior. But there's 21,000 salespeople in his industry. How many salespeople in your industry? Type in the chat. How many salespeople in your industry? Do you know? What if we trained you the next 12 months and you became the number one person? What would that feel for you? And I think, Matt, the cool thing with me is more important than money. Clients like this guy it's just the experience they have behind every sale they make. Because when you make a sale, it changes a life. You solve problems. You get people where they want to go, And with us, that's why I started 7th level. I know that's why you're here. It's not just about making sales. It's about seeing people becoming like this guy, like number one. It's seeing people like Caden, who 4 years ago was making $1,500 a month selling health insurance and like literally was bankrupt living with his in-laws, and now he has a mansion. Like, that's why I get up every day for you. That's why 7th level was started for you watching us right here. We started 7th level. Our mission is to change the way sales is perceived in society.
there it is.
You want to help us do that. And along the way, learn some pretty crazy skills where you help a lot more people and you make more money. See, sales doesn't have to be transactional, pushy, high pressure. Does anybody like being pushy and high pressure? You already know that doesn't even work that well, right? It's just gotten you to the next level. You see the difference there? And I want to ask here. So we're going to do this. We're going to give you the NEPQ Black Book of Questions. We're going to give you you're going to receive the regular version right now. It's a 58-page version. It's the whole bundle. It's a bunch of training. We're going to give that to you for free. I just redid this. It's 161 pages now. It's going into editing. Here in about a month or so, month and a half, you're going to get it mailed to you. We've already agreed on that. So right now we're going to give you the regular version. In about a month, month and a half, you're going to get in the mail. You're like, oh, Jeremy did not forget us. Matt did not forget us. You're going to get it in the mail. Who would want this? It's very industry specific. The new one, I made it far more industry specific, more examples from every industry. Who would want that if we give that to you for free? So, okay, I'm going to remind you because I know you're asking, what am I going to get? We're going to give you the NEPQ sales system, the virtual training portal. That's like 49 hours or something of training. We're going to give you the phase breakdown calls that I'm going to do for you only for 90 days. Who would want that if I took the time for 90 days to do that for you? That retail value is way more than that, but I'm going to do it for you. I committed. I will show up. Unless I'm on my sick, I will be there. If I'm sick, one of our trainers will fill in, or Matt, okay? Advanced cold calling scripts, calling your lead scripts, Black Book of Questions, and we're also going to do this for you. Who in here loses sales from objections? Who in here loses sales from objections? Who loses sales? You do? Do you want this book? Word for word, top 50 objections scripted out. Do you want to watch me in training portals going through and role playing these objections and showing you the right tone and showing you everything I do that I've helped all these clients, thousands, to sell more? Who would want this if we gave it to you as a retail value $997, all right? And we're also going to give you the top 50 objection obliteration course. Michelle, keep going down there, would you? Okay. That's priceless. Now that all has keep going, Michelle. That has a retail value of 15. Michelle, go down one more, please. Okay, there you go. Keep going. Has a retail value of 15,043. Now, would it be worth it if you're just a regular client and you paid 15 if you felt like we could train you to even double your sales for the rest of your life? Would that be worth it? Would that be fair if we trained you the skills? Now you got to show up, you got to do something, you got to get in the training. Caden, did you learn how to do this, or just like, I don't need to ever go to the training calls. I don't need to log into the portals while I'm driving down the road. I'm just going to keep listening to Taylor Swift. She makes me a lot of money. I'm going to listen to my political radio. Jim, Caden, what did you have to show up? Did you have to learn skills to do well?
Yeah, while I do love Taylor Swift, and
Okay.
it hurt to give her up,
We love
uh,
you. Yes.
you know,
couple
I had to
Swifties
find
over
that
here.
balance.
Yeah. Could you
You
do
do
that?
have to actually learn the skills. That is a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to do it. All right. Now we're going to give all this to you for it. We're not going to even have you pay 15 like Caden and Jim and all those other clients. Caden and Jim, we still love you. Don't ask me for a refund because you guys owe us lots of steak dinners. Okay. But we're going to give it to you all for just 4,997. Let's go to the next slide, Michelle. That's 50%, 58% off today. Now the question is, a lot of you are probably asking, like, Jeremy, why are you being so generous? Why are you guys being so generous? Why not just charge 15? Well, we do, but why am I being generous? The question is not whether or not this will work for what you sell. You already know it does. It's obvious. We have 19,000 plus testimonials. We have more testimonials than any sales training company in the world, according to Selling Power Magazine. We've been around for 5 years. We're in 161 different industries, including yours watching us. We have clients in your industry already doing these, like they're getting results. I think we all know it works. You see, the smartest people, you know what the smartest people do in the world? Matt, we've talked about this. They agree on this one thing. This is a high level room. Smart people do what? They take what's called calculated risk. Write that down, calculated risk. Now, what does that mean? It means the smartest people in the world, write this down, do not learn from their mistakes. Let me repeat this. They do not learn from their mistakes. They learn from other people's mistakes. So they don't make the same mistakes. Let me repeat that. The smartest people in the world do not learn from their mistakes. They learn from other people's mistakes so they don't make the same mistakes. Who wants to not make the same mistakes that you have been making before? And it's not your fault. You were trained that way. You're forced to do that. You see, the smartest people know there's a difference in purchasing something and investing in something. Caden and Jim, what's the difference between purchasing something and investing in something? What is purchasing something? Purchasing something is like Starbucks, right? You purchase a coffee, you drink it, you get a 2-minute high, and then it's wasted. What did investing do?
Well, it's
The ROI potential.
Yeah, investing pays you dividends, not just when you make that initial investment, but every day for the rest of your life from then on. So like when I invested in sales training, my commissions and close rate are higher forever. So
does everybody want to invest rather than purchase so you can make more sales forever? Now you got to show up. You can't just do nothing, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do something even crazier than what we said we're going to do. We did this yesterday. Once you agree, who wants a scholarship from us? We're going to give each of you a scholarship who wants to play for it. Did you know you have to get certified in our programs? Did you know that employers, tons of employers, I'll show you something here in a minute, are asking if you're certified in NPQ now? You can show them that you're certified in our methodology, okay? In every industry, okay? You go through the portal, you get certified. So we know that if you put in the work like our clients do, you show up, you go through the training every day, 30 minutes a day, where I drive around in your car from this portal, that you're gonna make more sales. Do you believe you can make more sales if you did that for 12 months? Okay. So we believe that once you make the first $10,000 extra in commissions, if you agree to send us a video testimonial. Now, if you want to post one, that's fine. We have 19,000 plus of those. We want more video testimonials. So if you agree, once you make an extra 10,000 that you can attribute from this training, now you have to show us. Give some proof, not just say it. Okay, we'll show you what to do. Once you do that video showing that you did it, we will give you a scholarship. Type in scholarship if you want me to give you a scholarship, okay? Because with a scholarship, if you agree to send in that testimonial, once you have documented an extra 10,000 attributed from this training, you send us that, we're going to let you have the scholarship now. You don't even have to wait to get the scholarship. You know, originally what me and Matt were going to do, we were going to have you just pay the regular 5,000. And then once you hit the extra 10,000 documented, then when you send in the video testimony, we were going to refund you half of that, 2,500. But we are so confident in this group playing full out, we're just going to give it to you now. Type in me if you want the scholarship now, and we're going to take an additional 50% off right now today for you. Would that help you? Would that help you if we lowered it another 50%? Michelle, please go down to the next slide. Another 50%. all the way down to this 2493. Would that help you? Do you believe that if I trained you for 12 straight months, like our clients, you've heard a few of them, that you will sell more than you are now? Is it worth 2493 to start making more sales the rest of your life? Type in worth it if you believe that. Go to that website right now. You might want to hurry. We're not going to let everybody do this. Go to getnepq.com. It's right there, getnepq.com. Now, we're also going to do something pretty nice as well. If for some reason you don't have the full funding together today, right now, we will finance you. So all you have to do, Michelle, go to the next slide, please. All you have to do is put down 997 today. That's all you have to do. And then you can do 2 additional payments of 997. We will let you do that. You're welcome to go to that screen, getnepq.com. And I remember this client right here 2 years ago that was dead broke, and he kept showing up to our free trainings. I had to show this because I actually met this guy at one of our like virtual events. He had to go out and like literally scrape the barrel. Like he had to borrow 50 bucks from this friend, 20 bucks from his mom, 50 bucks for this person to get the funds for the training. He lives in Dubai. Look what he wrote there. Can somebody read that? First month on IC had doubled commissions, went from 3,500 to 7. Second month, 11,000. Third month, 20. What would have happened to this gentleman if he didn't go out and get in the funding? What would he be at right now? Do you see the power that you can have once you do this? Now you have 2 options. You can get the funding in full. Go to the next slide, Michelle. You can get the funding in full, the 2493. I think we let you save like $500 there. And that's like 81, 82% of what our clients do. Probably I'd say that. You save 500 bucks today. If you don't have the funding, you can put down 997. We want to help you. Like you'll do well if you get in the training, if you put in the work. So put down 997 today if you don't have the full funds, and then 2 easy additional payments of 997. Now, do you want us to help you with one last thing? Type in me if you want me to help you with one last thing. Who in here loses sales to objections? Type in the 3 biggest objections you lose sales from right now. Type in me. Just type in, tell me and Matt the 3 biggest objections that you lose sales from right now. Type in me the 3 biggest objections. Okay, Michelle, can you open that? Yeah, right there. Keep going. Right there. Yeah, that's a transition slide. Yeah. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Who wants this book? Who wants the portal for only objections as well? So not just the portal, the 2.0 portal, like the 47, 49 hours of training, but another 4 or 5 hours all on the top 50 objections. Do you believe I wrote this? I show you the tonality. I role play this. I show you exactly how to pre-frame and get them to overcome and loop around. If I showed you all that, if you went through this several times over the next few months and you went through the trainings several times, do you believe you will sell more than you are now? Type in sell more if you believe you would do that if we did that for you, okay? Now look at this page right here. Look at this page right here. Go to the next slide, Michelle. Do you see all those objections right there? Type in the top 3 of those that you lose sales from every day. Look at those objections. Type in the top 3 that you lose sales from every single day. Hayden, which was your top 3 out of those? I have to ask. What was your top 3 that we showed you how to overcome with this book and all the training? What was your top 3? Can we pull Caden back up? We got Jim. Did everybody just leave me? Nobody likes me.
I'm here.
It's just me and
I'm
you.
here.
Everybody just left. Yeah, what's going on? Let's pull Jim. Let's pull Jim up.
Yeah.
What's the top 3 that you used to lose from that you don't lose sales from now?
Yeah, well, what's crazy is with the scripting, almost all of them I can strategically pre-handle, even across like the multiple calls, right?
Who
With
wants
the
to learn
decision.
how to prevent objections from happening?
Yeah.
Wants to learn? Go ahead.
But then I would get the pricing objection, a lot of time objections. Oh yeah, we gotta do, we're just gonna push down the road though. So I'd get price, I'd get time. And then sometimes I gotta look at some, I gotta look at some other things. Can I talk to some references? I'd get all those.
How often do you lose sales from those now?
It's funny because I was actually a little nervous. I was like, objection handling, I haven't had to do that in like 3 months.
Who wants to not have that many objections? Because who loves objections? Like you just love getting a ton of objections, or who would rather prevent them? You guys okay with that? All right. So what about this? Look at this page. What are the 3 biggest objections? Who loses sales from any of these 3? Like type in the top 3 objections you lose from this page. Look at the objections. Sounds too good to be true. Can you give it to me for free? Once I make money, I'll pay it back. What's different about your company compared to others? I need to keep shopping around. I'm not interested. If I buy this, I could lose my job if it goes wrong. I saw some negative reviews about your company. How many of you lose sales when they say, I saw some negative reviews about your company? Type in me. Do you want to stop doing that? Because it's all right here. How many more sales would you make if we gave this to you? Let's go to the next slide, Michelle. Because here's what we're going to do. We're only going to do this for 83 of you, and probably half of this is already gone. I'm going to go out of my way and probably say, I don't know if you can see it, Matt, probably 60 or 70 have already got this in the last 5 minutes since I gave the website, getnepq.com. So there's only, well, you guys tell me, 20 left. I don't even know. So
what was the number? What was the number we're going for?
We're only going to give it to 83. If you're 84, nothing we can do. Okay.
Well, 56 today.
56 so far. Okay, so you have about 26 left.
Oh,
how
56.
long do you feel 26 are going to be until you don't have this? Because who wrote these scripts? Me. These are battle proven in the field. I sold in 4 completely different industries, 2 B2C, business to consumer, 2 B2B. I made a bit under $33 million in straight commissions, all documented. We've attached that online. Hopefully I don't get audited, but that's okay. But if you had the language patterns, if I taught you advanced looping, and Ryder's pretty good at that one, really good. Advanced reframing techniques.
My favorite.
If we trained you that for 12 months, would you make more sales than you are now? Type in me if you feel you would do that if you had that. So remember what you're going to get. NEPQ, Sales System 2.0 version. We're going to give you the phase breakdown calls. Now, that's where I make it, and I show you how to tie in your industry to what you sell. That call is really important. I'm only going to do it for a year, 90 days. It takes a lot of work for me to do that for 12 weeks. Like, I just don't do that. So I love you guys, and I feel like you deserve that. So if you want that, let me know, because I don't have to show up, but I want to do it for you because I believe in you. You just haven't been taught the right skills. I believe that God puts people in your path to help you, but you have to do what with that? Help yourself. Do you want us to help you? Because we will. So show up to those training calls. I'm going to show you how to tie it to your industry. I'm going to show you different industry specific examples, and I'm going to show you how to role play it with the tone out. I'm going to show you how to cold call, advanced call on your lead scripts. You're going to get the objection prevention. Keep going. You're going to get the boot camp next week. Geez, we're giving it the whole farm. NEPQ Black Book of Questions. We're going to give you the regular version now. In a month and a half, and the new version is mailed out. It will be mailed out to you. It's 161 pages, more industry specific. And we're going to give you the word for word objection handling scripts. Retail value 15,043. You can get it right now. Probably not going to last very long for 2,493. 84% off today. 84% off today. This is your opportunity if you want to sell more. So go to getnepq.com. Caden, I don't know if you're still on, Jim. You know, like I was saying here, selling can be the highest paying job. Matt, you know this. Selling can be the highest paying job in the world. Would you guys agree that sales?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Job. Sure. If you have the right tonality, if you've been trained the tonality, because Caden or Jim, were you born with advanced tonality skills?
I wish I was. I wouldn't have had to pay you so much.
Anybody on here born with advanced tonality skills? Because I wasn't. Okay. Matt wasn't. We had to acquire those skills. We can give them to you if you allow us to. Okay. But as everybody knows, Caden, Jim, Matt, sales is also the hardest, lowest paying job when you don't know what. When you don't have the knowledge that works with human behavior, when you don't understand pre-framing, the right questions, the right tone. Is it harder to do, Caden and Jim?
100%. 100%. I'm a lot like Jim. I got really good at getting ahead of the objections. When he said that, I was like, yeah, I feel that, because you start being able to get ahead of most objections, and 90% of your sales, you don't have objections.
You know, like if I ever got an objection when I was in the trenches selling, I was like, what did I do wrong? My tone must have been off. Like how did I trigger that? I'd go like literally if it was on like recording, because back in the day, I wasn't on Zoom, I was on Skype. If it was virtual or I was on the phone. And then in B2B, I'd be in the office sometimes. But when I was on the phone, I would record it. I'd always record it. And Skype, I'd record it and I'd analyze the heck out of it. I'm like, good Lord. I was treating this guy like a number because I was so tired. It was like my last call. No wonder I triggered resistance. I just wasn't present. You guys ever felt that way?
100%.
Time to time. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at this client. Do you guys want the highest paying job opportunities in the world? Type in me if you want highest paying job opportunities in the world, because there's a lot of recruiting firms that come to us. Big companies, and they recruit salespeople. They recruit our clients with big opportunities. Look what this lady says. NEPQ sales methodology is king, and business owners are looking for closers that have mastered it. Public service announcement. She posted this like 6 months ago. I thought that was cool. As a recruiter that's talked to hundreds of business owners who are looking for sales talent, I can tell you that NEPQ sales methodology is king. Business owners are looking for closers. If you want the best opportunities, what are you going to have to do? She says you're going to have to learn it sooner or later. Do you want to learn it now? Or do you want your competitors who are selling to your same prospects to learn it? Type in B2C if you're in B2C. Could you imagine if you went up against one of our clients like Caden or like Jim, if you're in B2B, and you were both talking with the same prospect? Who do you feel would make the sale? I think you know. I can assure you that your competitors are already learning these skills from us, or they're about to. What should you do? Which path are you going to go down? You know, Caden and Matt, I don't know about you, but, you know, Caden and Jim, I was in everybody's shoes on here back in 2001, probably before half of you were born. I'm that old. But I got my first sales job selling door to door. And, you know, that first year, after I learned some stuff, the first 2 months were horrible because the training was horrible. It's like all old school, you know, buy or die, like, you know, oh, like high pressure, you know, numbers. I was stressed every night. I'd make a sale on Friday. Half of them would cancel Monday. Type at me if that's happened to you. You make a sale and you're nervous that it's gonna like freaking like cancel. I had a kid. I was like 22 years old and my daughter Cammie was born. Okay. And, you know, I was reading these books. I started making some money. In that first year, I ended up making like $130,000. Okay. Full disclosure. That's not that much compared now. But I read in a book after that first year. Has anybody ever read a book in sales that says 93% of communication is your nonverbal skills? Has anybody ever read any type of sales book about persuasion that says 93% of you making the sales, your nonverbal communication, your tone, and your body language? Everybody's read that in every book, right? How many of you have gone to sales school and learned advanced tonality, advanced questioning, and advanced body language, advanced pre-framing, advanced looping, and advanced objection prevention and handling skills? How many of you have gone to school to learn those skills? Did you know that sales is the only profession in the world where you can say, I'm in sales, I'm a salesperson, and you're never educated how to do it? Can you say I'm an engineer if you didn't go to 8 years of engineering school? How good would you be at building bridges? Can you say you're an attorney if you didn't go to law school? How good would you be winning cases? Can you say you're a nurse if you didn't go to school to be a nurse? How good would you be in saving lives? See, you can't. So why would you feel you're going to be great at sales if you're not educated in the right skills? And see, I had an opportunity after that first year to be trained by one of the top acting instructors in Southern California. I don't know if you, Caden, you guys probably have never heard, I told this yesterday. But you guys ever heard like Tom Cruise, Leonardo DiCaprio, Julia Roberts, George Clooney? Did you know that they were trained those nonverbal skills, body language, tonality?
Makes sense.
That's what I train you. I paid a lot of money. Now, do you know how much that training cost me? Caden, take a guess. I had an opportunity. They're like, it's going to be this. Just take a wild guess. This is in 2002. Wild guess what that training would be with the top acting instructor that trains, you know, actors and actresses like that. Anybody take a guess? Jim, take a guess.
I'm going to guess 150. 150,000.
120,000. now. That was back in 2002. So hell if I know what it is now. Okay. But imagine me, I was like almost 23. I learned better questions the year before to make more sales, made 130 grand. And I'm like, hey, you can pay 120 grand. I was scared crapless. Some of you are like, I'm scared crapless to invest $2,000. I was like 120 grand. How am I going to do that? I can't even pay that. And I went to my bishop in the church and I was like, hey, what should I do? Like, I know I need this, because I was so frustrated that all these books and programs would say you needed this, but nobody taught it in sales. Nobody taught it. And he asked, I still remember it's something like this. I could be butchering, but he was like, do you believe that one person who has a skill set or knowledge that is highly successful in that skill set can teach another person that same skill set and they can get similar results? I'll ask you, do you believe that me, Matt, and our sales trainers, clients like this, can take these skill sets and pass them on to you over the next 12 months? Because I told the bishop, I believe I can. I just don't know how I'm going to get the money. And he said, Jeremy, write this down. This thing helped me in my life more. He said, God feeds the birds, but he doesn't drop worms in their nest. God feeds the birds, but he does not drop worms in their nest. God is magically not going to gift you these skills, is he? But what he does is he provides people and puts them in your path. Do you believe that God puts people in your path that can help you change your path to where you want to be? Because I believe that. And what would have happened if I didn't find those funds? I had to do a payment plan and I had to increase sales every month to be able to pay that off. Would I be here today with you and train you if I did not do that, if I did not make that decision? No. So learn the right skills. You don't have to spend 120,000 like I did. I spent a lot more on my education over the years for that, probably over 7 figures. You only have to pay 2,493. Caden, Jim, thanks for being on here. I'm going to take some questions here real quick. I'm going to take some questions here, and I want to bring Matt out here because we're going to announce the winners real quick. And what we want to do, Matt, from what I understand, I got a message from Maite. There's a bunch of people that we have not decided who it's going to be. Okay. We have not decided who it's going to be yet. Full disclosure. So we want to take a break about 3 or 4 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. We'll gotta get the back end. Gotta get the nerd done it.
Oh, hey, now some people are asking about funding, and we have, I guess, breakout rooms on Zoom where they can go in and talk to our funding department. What's that?
Yeah. So essentially what you can do is you can go in and you can speak to somebody. So there are Zoom links there. They're all in breakout rooms, whether you need funding or you have a concern or you have what I call the Kevin Hart ejection. Have you ever heard the Kevin Hart ejection?
What is that? I got to hear that one.
Well, you see, I got a checking and a savings, and it takes 3 business days to clear. Right? It's from one of his old stand-ups, right? The checking and the savings account takes 3 business days.
Gosh, I can't.
That's called the Kevin Hart objection.
Oh
so
my,
if you,
I'm
if you got that, guys, it's fine. Just go into the breakout room. The guys can sort you out, right? Because what we don't want you to do is miss out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can go to the Zoom links or you can go to getnepq.com.
Yeah. If you guys have questions, you're like, hey, what more about the training, whatever, which I did go everything. That's all right. You can go in the breakout rooms. We've got some of our account managers in there that will gladly help you. Okay. Yeah. And then, and we have some lenders in there that are willing to loan you funding. Okay. If you want to sell more. Okay. A lot of these lenders use our training, you know, so they believe in it because they get results. So if you want to get funding, there's some of you will be able to get funding. You're welcome to go into that Zoom room. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to take about 3, 4, probably about 5 minutes realistically. Can I go to the bathroom? Can I have permission to go to the bathroom? I'm about to pee my pants.
Just ran back.
About to pee my pants here. I get permission. Give us 5 minutes. Okay, Matt's in the Sydney office. I'm here in the Scottsdale, Arizona office. I'm going to go back here with Ace and the team. We'll get on Zoom with you, Matt, and we'll see who. She's saying there's like 5 or 6 people that they don't know which to pick. Who wants to be picked for the top prize? Who
Put
wants
me in the chat? Who wants to be the top prize?
Who wants to be the top prize? So we're going to do that. Now, you know something cool?
What's that?
You know something cool, Matt? So we had a team member that put together a bunch of testimonials that we compiled.
Oh.
We have 19,368 as of this morning. I bet we have more since then. You know, I have not been keeping up lately. I'm not going to waffle. You know me, I'm always in the Facebook group taking screenshots. I'm like, man,
Go post in the group.
I'm like, there's too many. I give up. Like, we got enough, right? So each day, if you guys got on here about 10 minutes early each day, who got on here 10 minutes early each day? So what we did is we played 120 new testimonials for the people who got on here earlier before we start each day. So if you're on here each day, you saw 120 new testimonials. And if you stayed at the end, we showed another 5 minutes. I might not be good at math. I think that's like 660 different testimonials. And so they compiled a list of a few of these and they put together. And we did that because we knew this would happen at the end. It always does. We can't pick. And you can watch them. Do you want to watch that? Would it be cool if we showed you these like results? Because you've just seen a few, but were these people all in the same situation you were before they got into our training? Yes.
Sure.
Are they any different than you watching me and Matt? No.
Nope.
Do they brush their teeth? I hope. Do they brush their hair in the morning? Do these human beings put on pants? Do they drink water? Do they eat food? Do they have trials and tribulations in their life like you do, and like I do, and like Matt does? They're all the same, right? What is the difference between where you are right now compared to them? They're just in the training. They're taking this seriously. They're going to sales school. Is Caden serious? Is Jim? Is Jacob? Is a few of these people? They're serious about their career and they're learning every day. They're still learning every day. So we're going to let you watch this. We're going to give you 5 minutes. We'll be back in about 5 or 6 minutes and we're going to do a Q&A. Matt, I promised everybody I would stay here another 30 minutes and answer their questions. We will do that. We'll be back in 5 minutes, announce a winner, and we will do a Q&A for you guys. We love you. We'll be right back.
All right.
Could be trouble for you guys. All right, let's open it up for Q&A. I want to make sure we have Q&A. Michelle, why don't you go to that next slide here? Because people are probably asking, like, what do I get? What's going on? We still love you. Go to that next slide there, Michelle. Okay, and then let's bring out Anthony. Anthony, why don't you come on out? Let's have Anthony, our VP. Anthony, how are you? How's the Gold Coast office, man?
Man, we're getting a tan over here. The heat is immense, but we're loving it.
I'm getting jealous. You know, we have a big presence in Australia and over in that part of the world, and a huge presence over here in America and Europe and everywhere, South America, all that stuff. But I haven't been to the Gold Coast. I'm coming up there, I think, supposedly in March. Just got back from the Sydney office. It's like Miami Beach out there or something, right?
It's like Miami Beach, but everyone's got an Aussie accent.
Okay, a little bit different. I look back there and like, is he in Miami? Like, what's going on? And the crazy thing is that's like cold here. Well, our offices are in Scottsdale, Arizona, not crazy like where I'm from in St. Louis, Missouri, but over there